Good evening and welcome to the 2025 Heritage Hall Homecoming Coronation. Our first candidate for Homecoming Queen tonight is Miss Sloan Elizabeth Travis. Sloan is the daughter of Lainey, class of 98, and Reese Travis. She has 3 siblings, Barrett, class of 25, Sylvie, class of 28, and Boone, class of 30. This is her 15th year at Heritage Hall, making her one of our lifers. Sloan has dedicated much of her high school career to leadership and service. She was elected student council secretary and now serves as a peer leader mentoring the freshman class. She has volunteered 4 years with the Cleats for Kids board and is active in Life Church and K-Life. Sloan competes on the varsity cheer, cross country, basketball, track, and soccer teams. She has helped claim 4 state championships, 4 runner-up titles, and a district basketball championship. This year, she was named cheer captain and led her squad to another state title. Sloan has also excelled academically, earning honor roll and headmaster's list recognition each year. She's a member of Mu Alpha Theta, Spanish and National Honor Society. She plans to attend Auburn or the University of Oklahoma and major in marketing. Sloan thanks her parents, siblings, coaches, teachers, and God for their love, guidance, and support. Sloan's escort this evening is Homecoming King nominee Mr. Stephen Micah Brown. Micah is the son of Kristen, class of 94, and Matt Brown, class of 91, and the brother of Bella, class of 22. He has attended Heritage Hall for 16 years, making him one of our lifers. An active member of Charger Sports, Micah has competed in multiple sports throughout high school. As a football player, he helped the Chargers win state as a freshman and earn recognition as Red Dog Player of the Year. On the soccer field, Micah has been a key contributor to 3 consecutive state championships. Off the field, he serves as a jungle leader, keeping Charger spirit alive at every game. Beyond athletics, Micah participates in the fishing club and Model UN's Economic and Financial Committee. He was selected as a peer leader this year and is a proud member of Youth Leadership Oklahoma, preparing the next generation of leaders. Micah enjoys skiing, hiking, and photography. He loves cheering for OU football with his grandmother and is an avid Thunder fan. After graduation, he plans to study business at TCU or SMU before pursuing a career in real estate. Micah would like to thank his family, friends, coaches, and teachers for their constant support. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Sloan Travis and Mr. Micah Brown. Our next Queen candidate is Ms. Elizabeth Zeffie Ellenberg. Zeffie is the daughter of Carrie Kirchhoff and Darren Ellenberg. While she doesn't have siblings, she treasures her dog, 2 cats, and a snake as family. She has attended Heritage Hall for 13 years, making her one of our lifers. Zeffie has been a proud member of the cross-country and track and field teams throughout high school. She was recognized as Outstanding Runner as a sophomore and earned the Charger Pride Award for varsity track and field. Despite injuries during her junior season, she qualified for the state championships in high jump, 4x8, and 4x4, ultimately finishing 4th in the high jump. Beyond athletics, Zeffie has excelled academically, earning recognition on the Headmasters and President's list all 4 years. She serves as president of the Rho Kappa Honor Society and is also a member of Mu Alpha Theta, Sociedad Honoraria Hispanica, and National Honor Society. She is a Challenge Scholar, recipient of the Smith College Award, and was inducted into the Cum Laude Society as a junior. This fall, she will present her Independent Scholar Project on sustainable housing and the climate crisis. Zeffie enjoys riding horses, working out, and racing karts and autocross. After graduation, she plans to pursue engineering. She thanks her family, teachers, and coaches for their support and guidance. Zeffie's escort this evening is Homecoming King nominee David Burnham Griffin. David is the son of David and Kirsten Griffin. He has 2 siblings, an older brother Jack, class of 19, and his sister Grace. He has attended Heritage Hall for 4 years. While at Heritage Hall, David has competed on our varsity football and soccer teams, all of which have achieved state championships within his time at Heritage. On campus, David is the current student council president and is a member of the PEP Assembly crew. David enjoys serving his community as the vice president of the Focus on Home Teen Board, an organization dedicated to assisting disadvantaged local families. In his free time, David loves watching football, going golfing, and fly fishing. David plans to earn a degree in finance or economics and hopefully continue playing football as a walk-on player at his university. He would like to thank his parents for giving him all the opportunities to succeed, his sister Grace for always being there for him no matter what, and his brother Jack for being a great role model on and off the field. In addition, he'd like to give a shout out to all his teammates for showing him what it means to be a part of a brotherhood, both the Bogerts for teaching him the meaning of the word preparation, and Coach Tommy Riley for showing him that he'll never walk alone. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Zeppi Ellenberg and David Griffin. Our third homecoming queen nominee tonight is Hastings Louise Grant. Hastings is the daughter of Miranda and Jim Grant. She has two sisters, Landry, class of 29, and Olive, class of 33. She has attended Heritage Hall for 8 years. As a high school student, Hastings has competed as a member of our track and pom teams, earning her position as pom team captain this year. She has a passion for the performing arts as a dancer and an actor. She's been involved in every musical since her freshman year. In the classroom, Hastings has also proven herself to be an exceptional scholar. She's been inducted into the National Honor Society and recognized on the President's List. Hastings has also joined the ranks of our Independent Scholars Program with her project investigating connections between mental health and type 1 diabetes. Hastings has volunteered throughout her high school with Breakthrough T1D, making a difference in the fight against diabetes. After high school, Hastings intends to go to college on the East Coast and become a CIA agent. Hastings would like to thank the teachers who have helped her throughout her time at Heritage, her pom coaches, and the performing arts teachers for inspiring her to take the stage. She would also like to give her love to her family for the support, love, and encouragement they've given her. Hastings' escort this evening is Homecoming King nominee, Mr. Terrence Devon Johnson. Terrence is the son of Alita House and Terry Johnson. He has one brother, Barry Sanders, class of 12. He has attended Heritage Hall for 15 years, making him one of our lifers. As an athlete, Terrence has excelled in football as both a receiver and defensive back. His hard work helped secure a state championship in 2022, and he looks forward to competing for another this season. In the classroom, Terrence has been recognized on the honor roll for his dedication to academics. He also gives back to his community through service at Impact Community Church and by assisting with activities on the Heritage Hall campus. Outside of school and football, Terrence enjoys spending time with friends and watching movies and TV shows. After graduation, he plans to continue his football career at Oklahoma State University while pursuing a degree in psychology. Terrence would like to thank Mrs. Porter, Mrs. Williams, Mrs. Lucaszak, Dr. Hamill, and Mr. Ring for being a constant support system. He's grateful to Coach Meach and RJ for helping him grow as an athlete, the Ferris family for their encouragement, and most of all, his own family for inspiring him to become his best self. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Hastings Grant and Mr. Terrence Johnson. Our next homecoming queen candidate this evening is Annie Talmadge Blake. She is the daughter of Emily and Jeff Blake, class of 91. She has one younger sister, Lucy, class of 29. Annie has attended Heritage Hall for 3 years. She's been on the pom team for 3 years and serves as the spirit captain this year. She is a member of the Homeless Alliance Team Board and previously the Dead Center Film Team Board. She has volunteered at the Oklahoma City Food Bank, Girls on the Run, St. Anthony's Hospital, and Citizens Caring for Children. She is also a Sunday school teacher at her church, All Souls Episcopal Church. She attended Camp Nakanawa, Camp for Girls, a 4-week camp she returned to for 9 years and was elected as head cheerleader for her last summer. She played the drums for 5 years and enjoys playing along with her dad on guitar in their garage during free time, as well as recording and editing YouTube videos. She plans to attend college next fall and major in psychology, film, or music. She would like to shout out all of her amazing friends she has made since coming to Heritage Hall, her parents and extended family for their constant love and support, her sister Lucy for being her best friend, and her youth pastor Terry Prather for the immense impact he's made on her religious journey. Annie's escort this evening is Homecoming King nominee, Mr. Frederick Klein Reuter. Klein is the son of Melanie and Blake Reuter and the brother of Marlo, class of 2030. He has attended Heritage Hall for 15 years, making him one of our lifers. Klein has competed on both the track and football teams, earning state championships in each. He currently serves as captain of the football team and was a member of the 2024 Relay Race State Championship team. Academically, Klein is an inductee of Rho Kappa, Mu Alpha Theta, and the Spanish Honor Society. His dedication to his studies has earned him recognition on the headmaster's list. Beyond the classroom, he is the president and founder of the Fishing Club and is active in K-Life and FCA. In his free time, Klein enjoys watching football, building Legos, fishing, and playing pickleball. He also enjoys clay pigeon shooting with his dad. After graduation, Klein plans to attend law school with the hope of helping others in his community. Klein would like to thank his family and friends for their constant support, as well as Dr. Hamill, Mr. Hillis, Mr. Ferguson, and Coach Chard for making his high school experience truly special. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Annie Blake and Mr. Klein Reuter. Our final homecoming queen candidate is Miss Hannah Grace Brown. Hannah is the daughter of Kelly and Justin Brown and the sister of Ford, class of 27. She has attended Heritage Hall for 15 years, making her one of our lifers. Hannah serves as senior class marketing chair and as a pep club officer with the pep assembly crew. She was selected as yearbook editor-in-chief this year and is hard at work creating another successful edition. She has earned recognition on the headmaster's list, is a challenge scholar, and has been inducted into Mu Alpha Theta, Rho Kappa, Spanish, and National Honor Societies. Hannah has been a member of the varsity cheerleading team for 4 years, helping secure 2 state championships. She's also shared her dance skills in theater performances such as the Addams Family musical. Beyond school, Hannah volunteers with 6 teen boards, including the Oklahoma Hall of Fame and Special Care. She enjoys skiing, hiking, traveling, babysitting, and spending time with family and friends. After graduation, Hannah plans to pursue a degree in marketing or advertising. She thanks her teachers, coaches, friends, siblings, and especially her parents for their love and encouragement. Hannah's escort this evening is Homecoming King nominee Mr. Jack David Whitworth. Jack is the son of Clint and Kelly Whitworth and the brother of Ben, class of 27. He has attended Heritage Hall for 14 years, making him one of our lifers. Jack is a proud member of the football, basketball, baseball, and track teams. His passion for Charger athletics earned him a role as jumbo leader this year, leading the crowd at every game. He's also active in the film, fishing, and coffee clubs. Off the field, Jack has been inducted into Mu Alpha Theta, Rho Kappa, Spanish, and National Honor Societies, and has appeared on the honor roll all 4 years. This year, he was also selected as a peer leader for the freshman class. Jack volunteers with Cleats for Kids and Special Care and recently assisted Samaritan's Purse in helping flood victims in Texas. In his free time, he enjoys car shows, game nights with friends, and spending time with family. After graduation, Jack plans to study pre-med with minors in business and Spanish, aspiring to become a surgeon. He thanks his teachers, coaches, friends, and family for shaping his journey at Heritage Hall. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Hannah Brown and Mr. Jack Whitworth. Our crown, flower, and sash bearers this evening are kindergartners Miss Camille Glomset and Mr. Jay Mobley. Camille is the daughter of Aaron and John Trey Glomset, class of 99. This is her 4th year at Heritage Hall, where she attends with her brothers Larson and Dalton, making them all lifers. Camille loves tennis, t-ball with the Rainbow Rock Stars, and riding her bike. She is also learning piano this year while working hard to read and write in kindergarten. Known on campus as a kid and a kind and helpful friend, Camille dreams of becoming a dentist and surgeon like her dad, and has told her parents she plans to live with them forever. Jay is the son of Liz, class of 06, and Ryan Mobley. This is his 3rd year at Heritage Hall, and he loves being a Charger. A future athlete, Jay enjoys flag football and baseball with his friends. He already lives the Charger code by volunteering at the Homeless Alliance and with lower school service projects. His big dreams include driving a tanker truck, captaining a ship, scuba diving, joining the police force, and serving in the Army. Please join me in applauding the 2025 Homecoming Court. And your 2025 Homecoming King, David Griffin. And your 2025 Homecoming Queen, Sloan Travis. coming to Heritage Hall's 2025 Homecoming Coronation. Just a reminder, we do have Spark Burgers for sale up there by the alumni tailgate.
Hey, let's go. Let's go score first play.
Last week, the Chargers opened district play with authority. A 48-12 victory, a statement to all that Bogert's boys are ready to roll. And now, this week, we return home, back to Pop Murray Field, back to the roar of the 12th man, back to where tradition stands tall and champions are made. But this week, it's about more than football. It's homecoming, a night when the Chargers past and present stand together, distinguished alumni, former athletes, loyal patrons. You helped build this program. You shaped this tradition. And tonight, you are more than spectators. You are part of the story. This is your night, your legacy, the house you built. Tonight, the Anadarko Warriors take the field across from us, but this night, it isn't about them. It's about us. It's about Heritage Hall. It's about writing the next chapter in a story that never fades. Every snap, every block, every hit, every touchdown tonight is for you. For every Charger who wore the blue and gold. For every student who ever stood in these bleachers. For every family that calls Heritage Hall home. Bogert's boys will fight with pride. They'll defend this house. They'll honor the legacy. And tonight, they'll win another one for you. You know what's next. Come on. Here we go. Coming to you from Pop Murray Field on the campus of Heritage Hall High School in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. This is Heritage Hall football.
What a special night here at Heritage Hall. Pop Murray Field, it is homecoming 2025 here at Heritage Hall. Your 3A number 4 Heritage Hall, 3-1 overall, 1-0 in district play. Taking on the Anadarko Warriors tonight. Anadarko comes in 4-0 on the year as well, 1-0 in district play. Justin Evans here with Caleb Kalsich again. And Caleb, we've got a good game in store tonight. Hey, and it's good to see you again. I haven't seen you since Lincoln Christian. We're hoping there's a better outcome.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, we were talking about before the game. This is a game that starts kind of a touch scruffy games for the Chargers. Now you have Anadarko tonight, and you go to Kingfisher, and you have Plainview. So definitely getting deep into the heart of the schedule here, but it's a good night to really establish what this team is.
You know, Caleb, Anadarko's one of those teams that coming in 4-0 on the year, they've put up a lot of points, 183 points so far scored, only giving up 14 points. So much like the game last year, Anadarko came in undefeated as well, and Heritage Hall was able to put it to them.
Oh, absolutely, and you know, that was a shutout for Heritage Hall, and you're hoping to see kind of the effort again tonight from the Chargers defense. They're going to stay disciplined. Anadarko throws a lot of different looks at you. They're going to have to get lined up properly in order to not let someone get behind you without you realizing it, obviously.
And that's going to take us right to the Nix Patterson featured player of the game. The featured player of the game tonight for your Heritage Hall Chargers is none other than Klein Reuter. Klein Reuter is one of those kids that have just kind of flown onto the scene here at Heritage Hall in recent years.
Oh, absolutely. He is, you know, voted the captain of the team for the Chargers. He is the QB of the secondary, is a way to put it. He will have a tough task here tonight to really get everyone lined up. You know, we talked about Anadarko throws a lot of different looks. It's going to be on him to get the correct coverages called, get everyone lined up so that Heritage Hall has the best opportunity on defense tonight.
Klein Reuter comes in on the year, 23 tackles, 5 solos, 2 for losses. And Klein Reuter's a guy that motor is always running. You'll see it throughout tonight. Not a big kid, 5'9", 160 pounds, but he plays so much bigger than he does, you know, than the stats show for sure.
Oh, absolutely. He is the leader of the team for a reason. There's a reason his teammates voted him as a captain. You know, they look up to him. They look him as a leader on the team, and it shows on the field.
The captains are on the field. We await the opening coin toss here. So the captains, as you see him lined up, that's number 14, Hudson Ferris. Expect to see him getting some action tonight along with Tegan Lawson in that quarterback position. And then you've got David Griffin, number 54. If you missed us early in the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen, that is your 2025 homecoming king right there, Mr. David Griffin. Also, you've got Gerard Williams, number 3, as you see him right there. And then our Nix Patterson featured player of the game is number 44, Klein Reuter. We're going to take our first break of the day. You are watching Heritage Hall football right here on the ChargerVision Network.
Joe Cooper Ford has 3 Ford dealerships around the metro to serve Oklahoma better than anyone else. What does having 3 of the best Ford dealerships in the state mean for you?
Yeah, but
it means 3 times the selection
it's more when he
and 3
talks.
times the
I can hear
savings.
myself well.
And that's 3 times the service. And Joe guarantees to beat any price in Oklahoma by $500, or he'll
Is he
give you
coming to the street
$10,000.
now?
That's why Joe beats the competition 3 to 1. I love Joe
I
Oklahoma.
think you're coming through my mic.
Test.
Now I can
Elite always work to get better. So every day, we dedicate ourselves to being the best orthopedic surgeons in the country, committed to helping you be your best. No matter where you are or the obstacles you face, we never give up because it's too important to you and the communities we serve. And for that reason, Saints march on.
Into it as you see the captains taking the field to talk about our Joe Cooper Auto Group keys to victory tonight.
Well, obviously, you got to get off to a great start on offense. You know, Anadarko puts up points. You're going to have to be able to match that. If you get into a shootout, the key to winning games is the fast start. The second one is stop the power run. Anadarko, they like to spread the ball out. They like to spread out formation, but they also like to get under center. You got to watch under center formations. They have 3 running backs with over 20 carries and 100 yards on the season. You got to watch out for that, and you pressure the quarterback. You can't let him get free. He is a dual threat athlete. He will be able to run on you if you don't take him down immediately. So got to keep him kind of locked in the backfield.
Expected contributor tonight for Anadarko, number 7, Jason Kawakli, 6'1", 185-pound senior quarterback and safety, the Chickasha transfer. Look out for number 4, Malachi Beaver, 5'10", senior running back. Also, number 1, Napoleon Camp. He's the senior wide receiver, 6 foot, 150 pounds. Number 5, R.J. Perry. We saw him in warm-ups. He looks to be their deep play threat lining up in the slot position. R.J. Perry, senior wide receiver, 5'10", 145. And then also those running backs that Caleb was talking about. Number 0, Troy Pendarvis, 5'9", 160-pound senior. And also number 42, Ferris Satir, 5'10", 200-pound junior.
No, absolutely. And Troy Pendarvis, he had a really solid game last week where he ran over 3 different defenders to get about 57 yards. He's a very physical runner. So it's going back to Heritage Hall's got to find a way to bring him to the ground at the first possible point.
Last week, Heritage Hall with the 48-12 win over the North Rock Creek Cougars for district win in a row, number 81. And here comes the Chargers taking the field now to the Bogert family scoreboard, and the electricity is in the air here on homecoming night as the Chargers take the field. So last week against North Rock Creek, as we said, 48-12 victory for Heritage Hall. Its 81st straight district win, which is an incredible record. It is the longest active streak in the state, Caleb, and only 3rd overall of all time. So this is quite a run we're on right here.
Oh, it absolutely is. Not losing a district game for over, almost 10 years now is an incredible feat, and they're looking to continue that. They've had recent success against Anadarko, 4-0 all time. Those come in the last 4 years, looking to make it 5-0 tonight.
Expect to see 2 quarterbacks for Heritage Hall tonight. Tegan Lawson comes in 36 of 48 on the year, 398 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. And then also Hudson Ferris, 22 of 42 on the year, 310 yards, 3 touchdowns as well. So Heritage Hall all year long has gone into the 2-quarterback system, and, boy, it's been effective so far, averaging 31 points per game on offense.
Yeah, it gives defenses a different look. You bring in 2 different guys, and maybe cause some confusion for the defense you're facing. So it's definitely good to have both quarterbacks be able to run the system.
Well, so it is game time here at Pop Murray Field. It looks like Heritage Hall will be receiving the kick to start this district matchup. As we said, Anadarko comes in 4-0 on the year. Big win last week, district foe Star Spencer. That was a 63-0 ball game, but I think the biggest win so far for Anadarko, Caleb, would have been the 34-8 victory over the Chickasha Fighting Chicks, which is a big rival for them out there.
Yeah, that was a game that was actually a lot closer than the score said in the 4th quarter. They were able to kind of pull away. They had a scoop and score late to kind of put it out of reach. But, it was a game where they had to fight some adversity, and they did, and they got big plays late to put it away.
So here we are back to receive the ball for Heritage Hall. It's number 44. That is our Nix Patterson featured player of the game. That is Klein Reuter. And it's also number 3. That's going to be Gerard Williams out there to receive the opening kickoff. It is Heritage Hall. It is Anadarko. It is homecoming night. We have a great crowd on hand. The kick is short, and it's fielded by Trip Thomas up at about the 35-yard line. And Trip Thomas will be tripped up at the 40. You knew I was going to do that, didn't you?
Absolutely. Maybe Anadarko was trying to catch the Chargers off guard there with a little short kick, but Trip Thomas all over that one.
So Heritage Hall is going to start off the first possession of the game at our own 40-yard line, looking to, as we talked about the Joe Cooper Auto Group keys of victory, get off to a fast offensive start and, stop that power run and pressure the quarterback on the other side of the ball. So we'll see what happens here. Tegan Lawson is at quarterback. He's looking deep for Trip Thomas right out of the gate, and a great catch by Thomas all the way down to the 25-yard line of Anadarko. And just like that, it's a 45-yard completion roughly to Trip Thomas, first play of the game.
You want to talk about a fast start and a perfect pass from Lawson, only where his receiver can get it, and an even better catch from Thomas going up and grabbing it.
Heritage Hall running tempo right here. Trip Thomas came in 6 receptions on the year for 102 yards. A fake to Max Everett. Looking for Porter England on the second play of the game, and he's just barely overthrown. Tegan Lawson had Porter England wide open, streaking towards the end zone and just unable to complete the pass there. And we'll look at our starting lineups on offense for the Chargers. It's Bronson, Tegan Lawson at quarterback, Nash Iser in the backfield. Followed by the line, you've got Golden, Bullock, Leclerc, David Griffin, and Godwin. Rounding out the lineup, the receivers, Gerard Williams, Rhett Davis, and Porter England. So just miscued right there on a wide open Porter England in the end zone for the second play of the game. Blocked well, good pressure or good protection there for Lawson from that offensive line. This is going to be a 2nd and 10. The give is to Nash Iser over the right side. Gain of about 6 on the play.
Good push there from the offensive line for Heritage Hall. Got a big gap for Iser. Now it gives you a 3rd and reasonable here on, I think, on the Anadarko's 34.
Nash Iser, a breakout game last week, 137 yards rushing, 1 touchdown against the North Rock Creek Cougars in that 48-12 victory. Looking for Max Everett out on the flats, and that is well defended by the Anadarko Warriors. It looks like the first person on contact right there was number 62, Zayden Franklin, a very big freshman. Freshman wide receiver, defensive lineman. So initial contact. So that's going to bring up a 4th and 7, and we always talk about when Coach Bogert gets a 4th and 7 deep in positive territory that this is 4-down territory. So ball's on the 24-yard line. Tegan Lawson in the backfield, joined by Max Everett. Porter England in motion. Fakes it to England. Lawson's going to take it himself, and he's stretching out, and this is going to be really close. It looks like it's going to come up about a yard short, so that's going to be a turnover on downs for Heritage Hall for the first possession of the game.
Heritage, schemed open a couple of decent plays. You missed Porter England in the end zone, had him behind the defense. Obviously, no points is not what you want, but I think it's a good sign that you're really pushing the ball down the field on your opening drive.
So Heritage Hall comes up short at the 18-yard line, and Anadarko will take over from there. Number 7, Jason Kawakli, the quarterback for the Anadarko Warriors, under center here to start the game off. The give there is to looking for a number here. Looks like the give. I don't have that number quite yet. But here's the starting lineup on the defense for the Chargers: Golden, Griffin, and Davis, followed by Klein, Reuter, Echok, Phelps, Waddell, and Thomas, and then rounding out the defensive backfield: Akago, England, and Gerard Williams.
I think that carry went to Troy Pendarvis for Anadarko.
Pendarvis on the carry, pickup of 2 on the play. A flag on the play at the line of scrimmage for the ball carrier, Troy Pendarvis, once again. So early indications would be either a false start here on the Anadarko Warriors. We'll see what the indication is. That's exactly what it is, so that'll mark it 5 yards back. We're just underway here at the Pop Murray Field. If you're just joining us, warm evening, 84 degrees, sunny. No chance of precipitation tonight.
That penalty for Anadarko is what is hard about really switching up formations. A legal formation not lined up properly. When you go from really wide formations to compact I form, it can maybe cause some confusions for your own offense.
So first penalty of the game comes by the way of a false start or illegal formation for Anadarko. So that's going to push them back 2nd and 13, ball all the way back to the 15-yard line. Heritage Hall defense looking to make a big stand right here. Kowalski drops back, looks for the receiver going deep, and that's going to be number 1, Napoleon Camp, and a late penalty is going to come in, and this is going to be a pass interference, most likely, here on the Charger defensive secondary. So we talked about Napoleon Camp, the 6', 150-pound senior, number 1, as being an expected contributor, and you saw him get targeted right away by the quarterback, Kawakli.
Yeah, and he's a speedster. He will get behind you and never want to commit a penalty, but you definitely don't want to give up a long touchdown either. So I think you kind of cut your losses there, and instead of it being an 80-yard touchdown, they get it first down at the 30.
So that's going to be a good enough for a Warrior first down. Ball's up to the 30-yard line. First possession of the game for Anadarko. The give is to Pendarvis. Looking for anything, finding nothing. That's going to be a short loss on the play. That's going to push it to a 1st and 11 here for the Warriors. 2nd and 11, for the Warriors.
Little mid-option read for the quarterback. A late decision to just give it to Pendarvis, and Heritage Hall was all over it either decision I don't think was going to work out very well for Anadarko.
The defensive line for Heritage Hall has done yeoman's work all year long. Heritage coming in, only giving up. Oh, and that pass is completed, and you see the speedy Malachi Beaver out there. And that is another nice gain for Anadarko. Great play from Kawakli out to number 4, Malachi Beaver. Malachi Beaver got the boundary and turned on some jets right there. We saw a little burst of speed.
Oh, absolutely. And the design rollout kind of had a lot of Chargers crashing down on the quarterback, left the left side wide open, and it was just a great play design for Anadarko.
So Anadarko moves into Heritage Hall territory, ball sitting at the 46-yard line. Kowalski drops back, has a lot of time. He's going to take it himself, trying to get around the end, and he does. Pushed out of bounds, forced out of bounds right there by number 19, Walker Waddell. But looks like that's going to be about an 8-yard gain on the play. So it'll be second and short here for the Warriors.
Good pursuit there by Heritage Hall. There was a lot of green grass on the left side, and that's what we talked about. Got to pressure the quarterback. Can't let him sit back there. He is dangerous with his legs. So being able to get him down is key for Heritage Hall.
I've seen a lot of athleticism out of Jason Kawakli right now, the Anadarko quarterback.
Absolutely.
So it's going to officially be a 7-yard gain. So this is going to be second and 3, ball down to the 39-yard line. Warriors on the move. The give is to Pendarvis, trying to get around the outside. He does find some space. Hit hard over there on the sideline by Gerard Williams, but not until it was good enough for another Warrior first down.
There's the power run we talked about earlier in the broadcast, that they really like it with their powerful running back Pendarvis, and he can run over people as he did right there. It was a good tackle from the Heritage Hall secondary, but it got them a first down.
This Anadarko offense is averaging almost 47 points per game, so this is a high-powered offense that has found the end zone quite often, and scores of 50 points against Bridge Creek, 34 against Chickasha, and then 63 last week against Star Spencer. This give right here is to that's to Ferris Satir. Ferris Satir, nice gain on the play, and it looks like we have Klein Reuter down on the field right now on the far side hash. So we'll make sure everything's good with our Nix Patterson featured player of the game, Klein Reuter. He looks like he's up on an elbow right now, so maybe just a short stinger. And with that, Heritage or ChargerVision would like to thank 9th Street Barking Lot for their continued support. Visit them online at 9thstreetbarkinglot.com to schedule a BARK bus pickup. Coach Kyle Gillum looks forward to spoiling your pups at his first-class facility in downtown OKC. 9th Street Barking Lot, home of the BARK bus. So it looks like Klein Reuter is being assisted off the field. We won't speculate on what the injuries could be, but we'll keep you updated as we get additional information. So Anadarko, nice opening drive here for the Wildcats. No, they're not the Wildcats. For the Warriors. How about that? Yeah. We tried to change their name on the first drive, but they are still the Anadarko Warriors, Caleb. So as they tend to Klein Reuter on the sidelines, this brings us to a 2nd and 4, ball down, 25-yard line, 7.5 minutes left in the quarter. That is Kowalski getting a lot of pressure. He finds the receiver out there on the far side. That's Kane Wesleyan.
Another one of those design QB rollout plays. Heritage Hall's doing a great job of getting to the quarterback immediately, not allowing it to develop down the field. They're not allowing the quick checkdowns, though. This is a 3rd and short, though, for Anadarko.
Short pickup, short gain of 2 on the play. Heritage Hall defense looking to end this drive here for the Warriors. The give is to the big back, and he's hit right at the line of scrimmage, but he's able to spin away out of the tackle or break free from the tackle. That's going to be good enough for another Anadarko first down. That was a nice run by Ferris Satir. Hit initially right at the line of scrimmage, but able to fall forward and fight for a couple of more yards, bringing another first down, ball down to the 20-yard line of Heritage Hall.
Power running game for Anadarko. It's really been a key part of this drive. Had a chance there, just the second effort from Satir was able to get that first down.
This is a drive that started for Anadarko back at the 18-yard line following the turnover on downs by Heritage Hall. And here's another nice run by Satir, breaking it outside, and that's going to be good enough. It's right at the sticks. Let's see what the official marker is.
Believe they're going to give it to him.
They have not moved the sticks yet, but we're going to be inside the 10. So, yes, it looks like it is going to be first and goal. Ball down to the 9-yard line. Nice, impressive first drive here for Anadarko. The give is once again to Satir, and he's hit right there at the line of scrimmage. That's a great job there by Colson rushing. We talked about Colson rushing a few weeks ago and a young man getting an opportunity. It's a nice play right there at the line of scrimmage and throwing the ball carrier back for no gain on the play.
Yeah, good swarming defense here at Hall. Kind of a bad snap from the center. The quarterback had to grab it with his right arm, then bring it back to the running back. Kind of got off schedule, and Heritage Hall was able to get him in the backfield for a loss.
So Kawakli under center once again. Loss of 2 yards on the play. This is going to be a second and goal at the 11. The give is to Pendarvis. He's looking for room, and he has not much. That's going to be a short gain down to about the 7-yard line here for the Warriors. Warriors have dominated most of the time here in this first quarter. Only 5 minutes left. One possession for each team so far in this opening quarter.
That is the ability that Anadarko can do with their power run. They can really speed it up if they want, but they can also slow it down with this physical run game that they are really good at.
So that's going to bring us to a 3rd and 8. The third down bell on the Bogert family scoreboard is asking for a stop here on the Heritage Hall defense. Kawakli rolling to his left, looking for a receiver in the end zone, and it looks like that is going to be completed. That is a touchdown, Anadarko.
Another design QB rollout for Anadarko. Heritage Hall initially had everything covered, and I think they thought Kawakli was going to take off, left the receiver behind the defense, and just a touch pass for Kawakli to Beaver for a touchdown.
So Kawakli finds Beaver for the 8-yard touchdown pass on the first possession of the game for Anadarko, a possession that began at the 18-yard line. As Manny Batone is in to attempt the point-after conversion. The kick is up, and it is good. However, looks like we have a flag on the play. We'll see if this was some sort of false start or an offsides. The indication is going to be a false start against Anadarko, so they'll have to re-kick that. So another attempt coming here for Manny Batone. Nice, impressive first drive for Anadarko.
Yeah, they did it in many different ways. They had a couple of shotgun wide formations. They just got under center in heavy formations and just ran over really anyone that was in their way. Heritage Hall did a good job early stopping the run, and then Pendarvis kind of allowed the QB rollout game to really get going.
And the point after attempt is good, pushing the lead to 7-0 for Anadarko as Heritage Hall awaits their second possession of the game.
Big drive here for Heritage Hall. You got to answer now. Anadarko's got momentum. They stopped you in 4th down, deep in their own territory, then took it all the way with a scoring drive of their own. Got to answer. We talked about fast starts. You got to get back on track with that.
Hey, Charger Nation, last weekend, Charger Cheer made a statement at Tulsa Union, capturing the 2025 Class 5A state championship. It's the program's 5th competitive cheer title to go with last year's game day championship, and it's Heritage Hall's 105th team state championship. The cheerleaders will have a little bit of time to celebrate before they start prepping for game day regionals, which will be November 8th at Stroud High School. Huge congratulations to Charger Cheer, the 105th state title here at Heritage Hall. So the Chargers here looking to regroup after the initial drive by Anadarko. Klein Reuter looks like he's back in the game to receive the kickoff. So Klein Reuter's good. He has the ball in his hands looking for some space. He's going to be tackled at about the 34 to 35 yard line. Good field position here for the Charger offense. Looks like it'll be Tegan Lawson once again at the quarterback spot for the Chargers. Turnover on downs, first possession. Anadarko on defense runs a 4-4 man and a cover 2 and 3. We've seen it. They'll bring pressure on the inside, so the backers really need to take advantage of the gaps in the secondary. We saw a couple of big pass plays on that first drive, and we're going for one right now here with Gerard Williams getting behind the defense. Williams is going to be tough to bring down, and they finally bring him down all the way to the 5-yard line.
Well, Heritage Hall has found something with their vertical passing game. That's the third time now they've got a receiver behind the defense, this time able to hit Williams in stride, and it's first and goal for Heritage Hall.
60-yard completion from Tegan Lawson to Gerard Williams on the first play of the second drive here for the Chargers. So Heritage is looking at a first and goal. The ball is officially down to the 4-yard line. Tegan Lawson with the give to the left side, and that is Tyler Butler on the carry. We've got a flag in from the referee. We'll see what this call is. So there was a short gain on the play. We await the indication here from the White Hat. And this is going to be a personal foul, hands to the face against Anadarko. So this is going to be a half a distance penalty for the Chargers. A nice break here for the Charger offense. It's been ruled by big plays so far in the first 2 possessions, long completions to both Trip Thomas and also to Gerard Williams. And almost had a big completion to Porter England on the first drive as well, and the ball was just a little bit overthrown. So good to see Tyler Butler in the backfield again. The give is to Butler over the left side. Touchdown, Heritage Hall. And just like that, the quick strike ability from this offense, averaging 32 points per game, answers to tie the ball game with the ensuing extra point.
Well, we talked about we were just talking about how Heritage Hall needs to take advantage of what Anadarko is giving them on defense. With all the pressure that Anadarko brings that leaves their secondary vulnerable, Heritage Hall has definitely found something with their passing game, set up a short run for Tyler Butler, and with his extra point,
Tyler Butler, 6'1", 210 pounds, and boy, he just got that ball in his hands, and there was no denying him, and that point after attempt by Luke Butler is up, and it is good. So Heritage Hall has answered. That was Bo Butler. See, I did it again. I called Luke Butler again. Here is the replay. Tyler Butler just takes it over the left side, hands the ball to the referee, and that is good for a Heritage Hall 6. So with 3 minutes and 52 seconds left to go here in the first quarter, we got a tie ball game. We've got a good one brewing, Caleb.
We do. Now, if you're Heritage Hall, got to figure out how to slow down the quarterback. You know, he's been able to get outside of the pocket, really cause some damage. You know, Heritage Hall's either got to go get him. You don't want him taking off and scramble, which leaves your secondary vulnerable for big plays. So it's going to be tough adjustments for Heritage Hall to figure out a way to really slow down this Anadarko offense.
And, you know, there's nobody better than this coaching staff that Coach Bogert has of making these types of adjustments on the fly when they need to.
Absolutely. This is what they do in big-time games like this. They make the best adjustments. That's why they've won 81 straight district games. They know what they're doing in these type of games.
Hey, 3 Points Land is proud to support the Chargers, and the Chargers are proud to have them on our team. 3 Points Land is leading the industry in land services for energy innovation. Visit 3pointsland.com to learn more. So Heritage Hall and Bo Butler will line it up to kick to Anadarko. Deep to receive for the Warriors. Looks like number 1, Napoleon Camp. Back deep. Also number 4, Malachi Beaver, who just caught the touchdown pass from Kawakli. Looks like Beaver here on the return, looking for some space. Trying to get to the outside, but that is a great tackle right there by Max Everett. First time we've called Max Everett's name tonight. Good form tackle there by the sophomore, 5'7", 165 Max Everett.
And great special teams coverage. There were no lanes for Beaver to go to on the return, and he really got stuck around his own 15, I think, is where he got tackled. But, yeah, a great tackle from Max Everett.
So that ball is going to be marked down at the 17-yard line, deep in Anadarko's own territory. Heritage Hall comes in with 11 takeaways on the year, averaging almost 3 per game. This would be a good time for one of those.
Oh, absolutely. Deep in, have the opponent deep in your own territory. This is a great opportunity to get a turnover.
The give right here. Oh, it's a great play. Oh, by that ball carrier right there, Ferris Satir. And he is hit hard initially by Walker Waddell. Great play off the line there by Waddell. Short gain on the play. Maybe one. They'll give him one, so this is going to be a 2nd and 9.
Yeah, a good group effort tackle there. We talked about it. These Warriors do not go down easy. You're going to have 2 or 3 charges, bring them down. They are physical runners in the backfield.
Ferris Satir looks like he's getting the bulk of the Warrior carries so far in this ball game. And we've seen him, that running back defensive end, running hard. The junior. A lot of seniors and upper-class leadership here on this Anadarko team. 22 seniors on this club. You look at that to the 12 seniors over on the other side of the ball for Heritage Hall. So a lot of upper-class leadership here for this Anadarko Warrior squad. Looks like we have a timeout on the field. 3 minutes, 52 seconds left to go in this first quarter. A lot of action early on, a quarter of big plays. To this point, Injectable Aesthetics proudly supports the Chargers. Look on the outside as young as you feel on the inside. Follow us at Injectable Aesthetics OKC on Instagram for more info. So, Caleb, is this kind of the ball game that you thought we would see from the outset?
I mean, yeah, both these offenses, really high-powered offenses. Obviously, we didn't see that from Anadarko on the first drive. They ran the ball a lot. So, but it showed that they can really score in many different ways. We'll see how each team adjusts going into the second quarter, halftime. This is a game where you're going to see a lot of different adjustments. Both these teams are really good, and that's what really good teams do.
Hey, if you're watching tonight and you know a current Charger student or two, please encourage them to get involved with ChargerVision. ChargerVision is powered by students and really relies on the dedicated volunteers of our students and allows us to do what we can do up here. And in recent years, volunteerism has dwindled a little bit. So let's bring it back and keep ChargerVision healthy. We'll be talking a little bit more about that at the half as well, the importance of ChargerVision and what we do week in, week out. And that give is to Satir. And he's got a lot of room right up the middle. Great blocking there by the Warrior offense. That's going to be good for another Anadarko first down.
Well, that was a misdirection handoff. With a mobile quarterback, you get him moving, catch the eyes of the defenders, and you hand it off inside, and there's no one up the middle. So a play design I'm sure Anadarko has run multiple times this season to kind of catch the defense off guard.
So Satir has been the go-to, as we said, for Anadarko so far. That's another pickup of about 16 on the play. Ball out to the 31-yard line. We're approaching 2.5 minutes left in the opening quarter. Give is to Satir once again, and he is hit by a gang of Heritage Hall Chargers, led right there by Klein Reuter. Klein Reuter a little bit shaken up on the play again, but Klein Reuter, of course, our Nix Patterson feature player of the game. Reuter came in to tonight's game with 23 tackles, third on the team.
Yeah, just a good disciplined run defense there from Heritage Hall. Really no lanes for Satir to go.
So a loss of one on the play, no gain on the play. It is going to be 2nd and 10. Kawakli rolling to his right, and then ball is in David Griffin's hands. He's to the left. He's up the sidelines, and that is going to be the takeaway that we asked for in the booth. They heard us, and they gave it to us, and that is going to be an interception by the homecoming king himself, David Griffin.
Well, just a great defensive call for Heritage Hall. The Anadarko ran that design rollout once again, and Heritage Hall was all over it. And a bad decision from Kowalski. You never throw across your body and across the field when rolling to your right. He did that, and it went right to David Griffin, and Heritage Hall's got the ball at the Anadarko's 21-yard line.
And here it is again, Kowalski rolling to his right, throwing back to the middle of the field. Very dangerous. Nobody there but blue jerseys. And once David Griffin gets it in his hands, he knows what to do with it. So this is going to be the first down, Chargers at the 21-yard line. Terrence Williams in motion. The give is back to Cannon Brunson. The former quarterback throws a ball on a strike. Oh, and it hits off the hands, and it's going to be in the end zone. It went right above the defender. It was either going to be picked off or caught by Rhett Davis.
It was a trick play. Probably not the throw that the coaches wanted from Brunson there on a trick play, but, you get a quick turnover. You want to take a shot, maybe bring out some trickeration there. But no harm, no fouls. You still have the ball second down.
So the interception by David Griffin was the 12th takeaway of the year for the Chargers. First interception of the year for the Charger defensive lineman. So this is going to be a 2nd and 10, and it looks like, this is either going to be a false start. We'll see which way it goes. The entire defensive line for Anadarko jumped right there. There's probably an indication that there was a false start on the Charger offense, and that is the case. So that's going to move that ball back another 5 yards. So we're going to be a 2nd and 10. Ball moved back to the 26-yard line. 2 minutes to go here in the opening quarter. An exciting one so far. Hudson Ferris in at quarterback. The give is to Williams trying to get around the outside. If he gets a crease, he can go a mile. And he's pushed out of bounds down to about the 15-yard line. So nice pickup on the play of about 10 here for Gerard Williams. Brings us to a manageable 3rd and 4 coming up on the 15-yard line.
Yeah, getting it to your playmakers. Little touch pass to Williams. I mean, as you said, he can fly if he gets an open space. And just not able to really get around the corner. Good discipline there from Anadarko, but it is 3rd and short.
Gerard Williams, the Tulsa commit, as you've seen, he has a burst of speed, that'll rival anybody in the state of Oklahoma. So he just needs a little bit of space, and he can make great things happen with the ball in his hands. Great misdirection. The throw is out to Rhett Davis. He's looking to make a move right at the goal line, and he puts his head down, and that's going to be good enough for a Heritage Hall first down. Beautiful play right there from Tegan Lawson to Rhett Davis.
I think that was a double play action screen for Heritage Hall. So good play design, lots of misdirection from the Chargers to get Anadarko's defense confused, and it's now 1st and goal for the Chargers.
Hey, is that one of those, it's just a bunch of eye candy back there?
Absolutely.
So 1st and goal for the Chargers, ball down to the 7-yard line. Trip Thomas runs in, checks into the lineup here for the Chargers. Gerard Williams. Receiver on the near side. It's Tegan Lawson joined by Walker Waddell in the backfield. The give is to Waddell, and he is hit hard right at the line of scrimmage. Hit by big number 75, Josiah Raines, the senior defensive lineman for the Warriors.
Tried to get a physical run game up the middle, and Anadarko, for the most part, has done a really good job so far in this one of shutting that down. Everything that Heritage Hall has done has been on the outside, so maybe see that go back here for Heritage Hall on 2nd down.
That is going to be a loss of 2 on the play for Walker Waddell. So Lawson looking for the throwback to Trip Thomas, and there he is, and that's going to be good enough for another Heritage Hall touchdown. Great play. Walker, Tegan Lawson to Trip Thomas back towards the middle, and Trip Thomas did the rest himself, diving into the end zone for touchdown number 2 on the night for the Chargers.
Well, and just another one of those quick throw wide receiver screens, cleared everyone out. Trip Thomas caught that in motion and was able to turn it and get into the end zone. A great answer for Heritage Hall to get the turnover and capitalize on it.
Trip Thomas has just been a spark plug for this team in recent weeks. Coming onto the scene a couple of weeks ago here at opening night at Pop. And, this has just been an incredible showing for Trip Thomas. And the point after conversion is good. And here we go once again. Nice play by Lawson. Just looks for Thomas cutting back towards the middle. Kind of a lateral right there, Caleb.
Yeah, just get your blockers up the field. Throw a wide receiver screen. You let your playmakers, work on the outside like Heritage Hall has loved to do this season. And it pays off, and they're up by 7.
Looks like there was great lead blocking out there by Ayers Kurtz as well, springing Trip Thomas into the end zone. So just like that, with 46 seconds left to go in the first quarter, Heritage Hall takes advantage of their 12th takeaway of the year. The David Griffin interception turns into 7 points on the 9-yard touchdown pass to Trip Thomas from Tegan Lawson. A huge thank you to Stanley's Graduation, offering Justin's products and conveniently located in Edmond for all of your high school grad needs. Class rings, leather jackets, announcements, and championship rings. Celebrating moments that matter, Stanley's Graduation Services. Call or text them at 405-607-4343 or visit them at jostens.com. So Bo Butler to kick it off once again for Heritage. 3 possessions, 2 touchdowns so far. The kick is deep, and this is going to be bouncing. Whoa, almost didn't make it in there.
Oh, that would have been
almost
a kick.
checked up
that
right
would have
there.
been a kick. Because that's a live ball. They have to recover that.
So the Anadarko ball, the receiver deep on the reception was waiting for that ball to make it to the end zone for the automatic touchback, and it almost did not. So good break there for Anadarko. They'll take over on the 20-yard line. 8-yard touchdown pass so far from Anadarko, from Kawakli to Malachi Beaver, and then an interception on their ensuing possession. So Anadarko looking to get another sustained drive going with 46 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Give is over the right side. Short gain on the play of about 2 or 3. We're going to call it a 2nd and 7.
We'll see what Anadarko starts doing. Heritage Hall is now keying into their power run game. You know, they can go to a full house look there. We'll see how much Anadarko wants to open up and kind of throw it down the field. You know, we talked about they have Malachi Beaver and R.J. Perry with their weapons, so we'll see how much they want to use them in the vertical passing game.
Game clock 14 seconds, play clock 10 seconds. So Anadarko will have to snap it one more time here in the first quarter. Kawakli looking back. He's under heavy pressure. He spins away from it to his right side and just throws it away. He was getting some heavy pressure right there by Riley Walker, number 74, and that's going to be zeros on the scoreboard for the first quarter. It's been a great first quarter. Heritage Hall leads by the score of 14-7. We're going to go to a break. You are watching Heritage Hall football right here on the ChargerVision Network. Actually, we'll just keep it right here for a minute. We won't switch over, but so let's talk about this first quarter. Boy, I mean it's kind of the dogfight we expected a little bit.
No, yeah, we saw a lot. We saw Anadarko really try to establish their power run. That was their opening drive, and it worked. They were able to march it down the field after stopping Heritage Hall on 4th down. We've kind of seen Heritage Hall adjust to that, not allowing, or maybe they haven't really gone back to their I-form look. They've tried different looks. Heritage Hall's adjusted to that. We'll see what Anadarko responds with. On the offensive side, Heritage Hall, even on their first drive where they got stopped, they moved the ball. So that's not been an issue for Heritage Hall. It's just finishing drives, and they kind of got that one back with the interception they forced and got that one in the end zone.
And it looks like maybe, especially on these last couple of possessions, getting more pressure on that quarterback too. I mean, maybe that adjustment was made there by the staff, and really making, one of those keys to victory is that we just needed to pressure the quarterback, and let's make Kawakli a little bit uncomfortable back there.
Yeah, I mean, that is big for mobile quarterbacks. You don't want them to get comfortable. You want to always throw something at them, and if he makes a play, then it's just him beating the defense. It happens. But that's what we just saw on that second down play, and Heritage Hall did a good job of not allowing Kawakli to get free.
So here it is, 2nd and 7. We've switched fields. There's Kawakli looking to use his legs a little bit, and he can't get away from Walker Riddell. Waddell did a great job shedding his block and getting out there on Kawakli and not letting him get free in that open field and use his legs to damage us.
That was 3rd down. I think the yard markers had it wrong. So that's a third down stop.
Yeah, that was 3rd down. Or that was actually that was second. No, that was 3rd down. You're exactly right, Caleb. So this is going to be 4th and 8. Anadarko lines up for their first punt of the game. Great stop by Walker Waddell. Heritage Hall calls the timeout. Doesn't look like Coach Bogert and some of that coaching staff was real happy with a couple of things they saw, maybe a formation or some personnel issues in there.
Lots of confusing things. The yard markers did have it say 2nd down before that play, so I think they just didn't update it going to between quarters.
So ball sits on the 22-yard line. This is going to be Anadarko's first punt of the game. You assume that Heritage Hall is going to have good field position here to try to put more points on the board, leading 14-7 here at the start of the second quarter. And here's that play earlier. You'll see Kawakli trying to get outside, and Walker Waddell is just not having it. Also in pursuit right there was Carson Phelps. So good job of running to the football for this Heritage Hall defense right there on that play, on that third down stop. Trying to get a number who's back deep for Heritage Hall to receive this punt. Little stoppage on play again. Looks like they will reset the game clock.
I think it's 25 number.
Looks like Grant Sullivan back there to receive the Warrior punt. First time we've seen really Grant Sullivan back there to receive kicks. So usually we've got Gerard Williams or one of those guys. The kick is up and it's coming up to field, and that's going to be good field position for Heritage Hall. That ball is fair caught at about the 46-yard line of Anadarko.
26. I'm sorry, that's Caleb Niver, who was the receiver back there.
You're exactly right. Yes. We've got it straight now, so this is going to be Heritage Hall taking over. At about we're gonna call it at about the 46.5-yard line in Anadarko territory.
Hudson Ferris in the game.
Hudson Ferris back in, joined by Max Everett in the backfield. We saw Tyler Butler earlier on the short touchdown run. It's been Max Everett and Nash Iser since then. Ferris looking great protection. Steps up in the pocket, running to his right. Cuts it upfield. Nice run. Nice scramble there by Hudson Ferris. Pick up a 9 on the play.
Good decision. I think Heritage Hall wanted to take a shot, maybe get some good momentum early in the second quarter, but you don't want to force anything. You just pull it down, get 9 yards on the carry, and I think Lawson's coming back in.
So both quarterbacks have played for the Chargers tonight, just as we expected. Lawson back in the game, joined by Nash Iser in the backfield. 2nd and 1 for the Chargers. Ball down at the 37-yard line. The give is to Iser. He's hit hard at the line of scrimmage, but that is going to be good enough for a Heritage Hall first down. He was hit hard by Miles Wardo. Here's that play by Hudson Ferris again. Looking. Great protection by his offensive line, and he just tucks it and goes. Diving for the yard marker. Coming up just short, so great job there by Hudson Ferris, showing his athleticism. So this is going to be a 1st and 10 Chargers. The give is to Waddell, trying to get outside. It was a good job of pursuit by Braylon Saki for the Warriors.
Not sure how clean that handoff. I think you saw Waddell kind of hesitate there. Wanted to make sure he actually had the ball secured. Maybe kind of caused some, mistiming on the outside handoff. Only a loss of 1, so not too big of a loss. But, those small things matter on those type of plays.
Max Everett back in the backfield for the Chargers. Joining Tegan Lawson. Lawson looking downfield. He has a receiver open, and that is Porter England. That ball falls short. There is a flag on the play, and I believe they're going to get the Warrior defensive back, Napoleon Camp, right here on a defensive pass interference, and that is the indication. So that's going to be another first down for Heritage Hall.
Yeah, just got there a little too early, kind of tugged his jersey from the back, did Napoleon Camp on Porter England, and, hey, it's a first down for Heritage Hall.
Looks like Porter England was open initially, running that seam. Ball falls short, but not before a penalty. 15-yarder, big penalty for the Warriors. So that pushes the ball down to the 21-yard line. Heritage Hall looking to increase this 7-point lead right now. Give this to Max Everett. He's got some room on the outside. Oh, and he closes quick. Oh, puts that hand down on the grass and does like a 3-point bear crawl, but not the 4-point variety.
I mean, the effort to stay up there and get a couple extra yards turns it, instead of being 2nd and 8, to 2nd and 4. So just great effort there from Everett.
Coach Brown, our PA announcer next door, described it perfectly, and he said that Max Everett scrambled for 6 yards. That is the definition of scrambling for 6 right there for Everett. So ball down to the 15-yard line. Heritage Hall threatening inside the red zone. Fake to Everett. We had Rhett Davis out there for a second. Nice pursuit and the sack by Ronald Nibbs for the Warriors. That may have been Miles Wardo on the sack in pursuit of Hudson Ferris, who had to just tuck it and take the hit.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Justin. Just a PA rollout, trying to find something down the field. The problem with that is you're very vulnerable on the backside, and Hudson Ferris never saw him coming. And it's just a good play from Anadarko.
So loss on the play, ball back to the 22-yard line. It's going to be a 3rd and 11. We're thinking probably 4-down territory once again down here for this Charger team. Tegan Lawson back in at quarterback, trying to set up the screen pass, unable to do so, and he's in pursuit, and he is going to be dropped for another big loss on the play. Very good job here by the pursuit. That was Troy Pendarvis. This Warrior team has done a good job on this drive corralling the Charger offense. Loss of 5 on the play, so this is going to be a 4th and 15, and we are bringing in Bo Butler. This ball is sitting on the 33-yard line as far as where Bo Butler is set up, so this is going to be a 43-yard attempt here for Bo Butler. He's got plenty of leg for it. The ball is down. The kick is up for Butler. Plenty of leg, and it is good. 43-yard field goal for Bo Butler, and it could have gone 53 right there with that leg.
Yeah, that was a really good kick from Butler, but you go back to the play that Tegan Lawson made on the 3rd down play. Nothing was open. Anadarko blew up the screen. Instead of forcing something, putting it in harm's way, he just takes a sack knowing you're in field goal range, knowing you have Bo Butler that can make those long field goals, and Heritage Hall now up 2 scores in a big-time game.
I'd love to see Coach Bogert running out Bo Butler right there for the 43-yarder. There was no doubt in his mind that's exactly what he was going to do the whole time. And Bo Butler connects. Long field goal. That was a great job right there. So Heritage Hall extends their lead 17-7. And here it is once again. The hold is down. The kick is up. Man, it is good by a mile. Almost kicked it to the Eddie Bell right there.
Yeah, that is just a fantastic kick from Bo Butler. Like Justin said, that probably cleared by a good 15, 20 yards.
So it's nice to have that extra weapon in the holster whenever you need it, and we've seen that the whole time that Bo Butler has been here. Both Butlers, that's a kicking family right there.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially Luke Butler, who I graduated with. He was the kicker for the football team when I was here, and he was able to kick those field goals like that as well.
So Heritage Hall has scored on their last 3 possessions. And here's the kickoff. This is going to go into the end zone for another touchback. Looks like Bo Butler still geeked up from the field goal. So Anadarko is going to take over again. Last possession was a punt. Possession before that, an interception by David Griffin, which led 2 points, which led to the 9-yard touchdown to Trip Thomas from Keegan Lawson. Let's see if Heritage Hall can get another stop right here on this Anadarko offense.
Since that opening touchdown for Anadarko, they really have not been able to do the offense they want. Haven't seen much under center stuff anymore. They are now trailing by 10, so you may see more shotgun looks like this.
Yeah, 82-yard drive really to start off the game for Anadarko, and not much since then. They probably haven't gained that many total yards in every one of their ensuing possessions.
No, absolutely not. And, they have another rollout play, and just a miscommunication there sails it over the receiver.
So that ball falls short. This is going to be a 2nd and 10. Clock is stopped at 6 minutes, 40 seconds left to go in the half. I know Coach Bogert would love to see some more points on that board going into the locker room. Since we talked about the defense who only gives up 14 points per game, has really bowed their neck here in this one. And that ball is picked off, and it's going the other direction. Takeaway number 13, and it's all the way back, and that is touchdown, Heritage Hall. Gerard Williams for the second week in a row. That is a pick six going back the other way.
Well, Heritage Hall is now forcing Anadarko to play, catch up, and they have to pass the ball. And Heritage Hall's coverages have caused the Warrior problems all night long, and just a great effort from Williams to not only pick that off, but get blockers and run it back to the end zone.
32-yard interception return for a touchdown. Gerard Williams, who last week against North Rock Creek had a pick six for 38 yards. And just like that, the table has turned in this ball game here in the second quarter.
Oh, they did not. They actually said he stepped out of bounds at the 10-yard line. So.
Well, okay. We'll give him the pick, but we won't give him the six. No. Okay, well, we didn't see that, so they indicated that Gerard Williams stepped out, and looks like it's going to be at about the 15-yard line here of Anadarko. So we'll take that off the scoring possession, but we will definitely leave that on the second takeaway of the night for this Heritage Hall defense. The give here is to Iser, looking for space up the middle. Good hard run. Initially there was nothing there, but a good hard run of pickup of 3 on the play. And here's Kawakli rolling out to his left. Threw it over Trip Thomas, trying to get it over the top of Thomas, which he did, but then fell right into the hands of Gerard Williams. Boy, I still did not see him step out of bounds.
I didn't either, so I'm curious. The line judge must have had a better look than we did, but from that replay, it looked like he had plenty of green grass.
And, many times you'll see guys doing the old tightrope motion there on the sidelines, and we never even saw that indication from Williams at all. So that was a pickup of 4 on the play for Iser. This is going to be a 2nd and 6 for the Chargers. Empty backfield. Ooh, that was a dangerous play, trying to get it out to Trip Thomas. That same exact play that they scored on a couple of possessions ago, the 9-yard touchdown pass to Thomas, but there's a flag on the play.
I think it's a legal shift for Heritage Hall. But, Anadarko all over that when they recognize the play, and very, very lucky that's not being run back for 6 right now.
So it is going to be an illegal shift marked off against the Chargers, so that'll move the ball back 5 yards. So this will be a 2nd and 11, ball back to about the 16-yard line here for the Chargers.
Big opportunity for Heritage Hall to really kind of make an early statement here. You're gonna be up 3 scores potentially late second quarter, put a lot of pressure on Anadarko. That's the opportunity that Heritage Hall has in front of them.
The give once again is there to Tyler Butler. Nice hard running by Butler. We've seen that a couple of times tonight, a new little wrinkle that's been put in. Butler, of course, had the first touchdown of the game, a 3-yard touchdown run over the left side to give Heritage Hall a 7-0 lead in that game in early on. So this is going to be a 3rd and 4. We talked about this game last year, both teams coming in undefeated, or both teams, Anadarko coming in undefeated. Heritage Hall, the eventual winner, 45-0. In that game, 5 takeaways for Heritage Hall, 2 fumbles forced, 3 interceptions. Already 2 tonight in this ball game in the first half. Another timeout here is going to be called by Coach Bogert. I believe that is the 3rd and final timeout for the Chargers here in the first half. A big thank you to another proud supporter of our Chargers, Dr. Joshua Blue Spears. Do you want to perform at an optimum level? Come join the million other high school, college, and professional athletes and get adjusted before or after the game. For more information, follow us at JBS_chiropractic on Instagram. Looks like 1 timeout left here for the Chargers. There was 1 earlier. I think that was an official timeout.
I want to say that was clock issues. The clock wasn't working or something. They ended up having to take like 30 seconds off. So I believe that was the one in the late first quarter, excuse me.
So 1 timeout left here in the first half. It might come into play, may not. But, you look at Coach Bogert's always looking to keep that pedal down, and score as much as possible. So anytime that we can extend this half so we can give us more opportunities, we're going to take advantage.
And you'll see the play call here. This may be 4-down territory for Heritage Hall with it being 3rd and short, with an opportunity to really.
So Hudson Fair's under center. It gives to Max Everett getting the outside. That is going to be touchdown Heritage Hall. And just like that, came right out of the timeout, lined up. Hudson Fair is under center, and this is a quick pitch to Max Everett.
You don't have to worry about 4th down if you score on 3rd down, but good play design for Heritage Hall. I think they were trying to hide Max Everett in the backfield, do a little quick toss out to him, and Everett's got the speed that if he gets outside, he's going to take it. And it's a 8-yard touchdown run for Everett, and Heritage Hall is up 3 scores.
Heritage Hall starting to move the needle right now. Everett came off of a 2-touchdown performance last week against North Rock Creek. Gets his first one of the game here today. I have it as a 9-yard touchdown run. Caleb, I wasn't sure about that spot. I don't know if you had it or not, but I believe it was a 9-yard run. We'll verify that shortly. So Heritage Hall extends the lead following the Bo Butler extra point. 24-7 now, and here it is once again, and we'll get a yardage mark. Oh, it's a little bit late, but we'll catch that up here in just 1 second. Heritage Hall with an explosion here in the second quarter due to some takeaways, a couple of interceptions in the last few possessions for Anadarko. Looks like that ball was at about the 7-yard line. Give is to Max Everett off the left side. Great job by Everett.
Hey, 7, 8, 9. I don't think Heritage Hall cares right now. They're just in the end zone, and 17-point lead. I mean, you want to look at how this game has flipped. Heritage Hall turnover or down to Anadarko, touchdown to open the game. Since then, touchdown, field goal, touchdown for Heritage Hall, and then it's interception, punt, interception for Anadarko. So just the adjustments that Heritage Hall has made have, flipped it. 24 unanswered points for the Chargers.
Max Everett came in on the year, 46 carries, 206 yards. That led the rushing attack for Heritage Hall and actually was evened up. Nash Iser came in with exactly 206 yards as well. So a great tandem back there in the backfield for the Chargers. So Heritage Hall, a lot of time left on the scoreboard, looking to get another stop, have that one timeout in the back pocket, looking to get a stop here and maybe get some more points on the board before the half. So we've got lightning, it looks like, on the corner. Not lightning in the sky. We've got the mascot running the cameras up here with ChargerVision. What a great sight that is. This ball is kicked into the end zone for a touchback. So Anadarko will start their possession with 5 minutes left to go in the second quarter on the 20-yard line.
You have to imagine you're not going to see very much more of the power running game for Anadarko. They're just not going to be able to do that right now. They're down 17. This is a big possession there. Anadarko does get the ball to start the second half. So Heritage Hall, big opportunity to get off the field here, not allow Anadarko to have a quick 14-point swing.
And although a massive step up in competition this week for Anadarko over Star Spencer, this is a team that scored 63 points last week, and they did a lot of that in the air as well. And this give is on the end around, looking for space, and he's got nothing. He is hit by a ton of Chargers.
Flag down on near the Anadarko sideline. I think it may be offsides. I don't know. It's no illegal shift here at Anadarko. So we'll see what Heritage Hall does. I think they ended up getting a loss. Yeah, they declined it. So it'll be second and long for Anadarko.
Jackson Echok was pleading the case with the referee there, number 33, Jackson Echok. So that is going to be declined by Coach Bogert, and this is going to be a 2nd and 10. No gain on the play. Coach Bogert, with no gain on that play, is wanting to get that ball back as fast as he possibly can with this time on the clock. The give is to Napoleon Camp right there. Oh, I'm sorry, that was number 0, Pendarvis, excuse me. And he is hit by Walker Waddell right at the line of scrimmage for another gain. They'll give him 1 yard. That's maybe a half a yard on the play, but this is officially going to be a 3rd and 9 here.
I'll keep going back to this. Heritage Hall has figured out the Anadarko running game. Since that first drive, Warriors have not been able to use the ground game. So we'll see what Anadarko does here.
Kawakle looking for his deep home run threat. That ball is thrown short, and that is going to be picked off. That is interception number 3 on the night. And this one right here is Emeka Akego. Akego's first interception of the year, and this is going to be the 3rd of the night in the first half for Heritage Hall. There is a flag on the play, but this is going to be a sideline warning against the Chargers, and we'll take that all day long.
Yeah, I mean, once again, you get pressure on the quarterback. That was one where Kowalski just had to get rid of it. Pressure was coming. He throws it up, underthrows his receiver, and Heritage Hall in great coverage is able to pick that off. 3rd turnover and 4 drives for Heritage Hall.
Okego's first interception of the year. 3rd turnover, 5 turnovers last year for Anadarko. Allowed Heritage Hall to blow that game wide open in the second half. Here it is once again. That ball was underthrown. There was double coverage on the play. The ball was underthrown, and Okego was able to come up with it after doing a little hand fighting with the receiver. Porter England in motion. The fake is to England. They're looking for Trip Thomas down the field, and that ball is overthrown. Looks like Trip Thomas got mixed up there with R.J. Perry. No flag on the play. Incidental contact.
Heritage Hall wanting to take a shot, wanting to, I mean, you want to talk about a statement in the first half. Going up potentially 24 would have been a statement. Incidental contact, like you said, Justin, kind of just got tangled at the feet, and it'll be 2nd down for Heritage Hall.
Hudson Ferris back in for Heritage Hall. Max Everett joins him in the backfield. Ferris dropping back, looking to his right. There is going to be a flag in the backfield for Heritage Hall. Max Everett on the reception. We'll see what the flag is. And it looks like Heritage Hall is already walking backwards. So this is going to be a holding on the Chargers. So they'll mark off the 10. Pushing Heritage Hall back in deeper into its own territory. So this is going to be a 2nd and 20 for the Chargers. Ball back to the 38-yard line. Heritage Hall 24, Anadarko 7. At one time, this was a 7-0 ball game. 24 unanswered for Heritage Hall. As that throws to Connor Brunson, and that is out to Gerard Williams, and you're not going to catch Williams. That is another touchdown, Heritage Hall. Cannon Bronson to Gerard Williams, the former quarterback, moved tight end, and you saw it right there. There was nobody in sight once Gerard Williams caught that ball, and you're not going to catch that young man.
They gave Brunson an opportunity early in the game with the double pass. Didn't work out. This one, Anadarko completely sells out in the wide receiver screen, which we've seen this Heritage Hall run over and over. Gerard Williams there was no one within 10 yards of him, at least, before he caught that ball. So just a perfect play design. And Heritage Hall, 30 unanswered points with an extra point pending.
Cannon Bronson's first touchdown of the year, of course, from the tight end position. Cannon Bronson looked really good right there. That is a 62-yard touchdown pass to Gerard Williams. So Gerard Williams putting his name in the book in the running for the player of the game. Here's Bronson. He just throws it out there to Williams. Williams has to wait on it a little bit and then just turns on the Jets from a dead stop and able to outrun Malachi Beaver all the way to the Charger end zone. And now this lead, 31-7, Heritage Hall.
Gerard Williams had to kind of sell that play. He didn't really wait to release until the ball had basically gotten to Brunson's hands. And then he released, and no Warrior went with him. He was completely wide open. Just a great overall play for Heritage Hall.
5 consecutive possessions Heritage Hall has turned into points. Just a complete change of momentum, the whole feel and tempo of this game has changed ever since the first drive from Anadarko.
Yeah, it's an incredible flip. Anadarko got momentum early. They got a 4th down stop. They go down to score a touchdown, and then Heritage Hall has just answered with touchdown, field goal, touchdown, while also forcing 3 turnovers of their own. So just a complete change of how this game opens.
You know, we talked about how this staff does such a good job making adjustments, and, I mean, it is night and day from what we saw on that opening 82-yard drive.
No, it is. And, you know, we said they have won 81 district games in a row for a reason, and that is why right there.
So here's Bo Butler with the kickoff, and this is another touchback just like that. And Caleb, let's look at something. There's still 3 minutes and 41 seconds left in this quarter.
I've got a feeling that Coach Berger would like to get the football back one more time to go score.
The scoring parade may not be over if Coach Bogert has anything to say about that. So Anadarko is going to take over on the 20. As we talked about, their last 4 possessions, interception, punt, interception, interception. Heritage Hall trying to get another one back right here. We talked about their takeaways averaging 2.8 per game. They have matched that total. That ball's up in the air. Porter England was the closest to it. That ball falls incomplete. Very dangerous pass once again by Kawakli.
Kawakli is having to get the ball out in maybe 1 or 2 seconds. And going back to the keys to victory for Heritage Hall, pressuring the quarterback was one of them. And Heritage Hall has amped up the pressure on Kawakli, forcing those 3 turnovers were because of the pressure they put on him. He has not been comfortable for quite some time, and maybe there was a penalty because they're marking it back.
Was a flag on the play. Looks like it was going to be holding on the Anadarko Warriors. So that's going to move back to a 1st and 20 ball at the 10-yard line. And you kind of wonder right now over there for Coach Jackson if he's content trying to run this ball, run some clock down, or is he going to feel like he needs to put it up in the air and get it back, which is going to stop this clock a lot. And that ball is completed out there in the flats, and he is hit initially by Gerard Williams. Spins away from the play, but that's going to be another loss on the play.
You know, the problem with us trying to go to halftime is Anadarko does not have the offense to be able to do that right now. Heritage Hall, there's enough time. They're going to get the ball back if they go 3 and out. And it's already 2nd and 20. There's still 3 minutes left. So Heritage Hall will most likely have an opportunity to score again.
So a loss of 4 on that completion. That brings us to a 2nd and 24. Kawakli, standing in his end zone, sets up the screen pass, and it is completed. Working his way back to the middle. We haven't seen him as much in this second quarter. That is Ferris Satir. He gets it back to about the original line of scrimmage here at 3rd down, maybe 1 yard closer, so this is going to be a 3rd and 8. Ball up to the 22. Nice screenplay there by the Warriors.
Nice screenplay, also very risky. You put your quarterback at risk if you don't get an opening that he's going to take a safety, but you end up getting about 16 yards on the play. 3rd and reasonable here for Anadarko.
And especially with the pressure that Kawakli has been under here in this second quarter, standing him in the end zone. He's flushed out of the pocket. They're chasing him, and that's Walker Waddell. He gets by him. He dives towards the sideline. Credited with the tackle. That's going to be Carson Phelps over there that forced the Anadarko quarterback out of bounds. But this is going to be a 4th and 6, and this is going to be a decision for Coach Jackson. You think there's no way he doesn't punt this ball right here, but let's see what he does. Yes, it looks like the punt team is coming in for the Warriors.
Anyway, out of bounds. That stops the clock with about 2 minutes. So Heritage Hall is really going to have a really solid opportunity to add to their lead.
And with this Heritage Hall offense, 2 minutes left is like having an entire quarter to score for these guys. So this is going to be a 4th and 6. Looks like back to receive once again is Caleb Niver for the Chargers. And he's going to field it. He lets it bounce. It's going to take a small Anadarko bounce. It's going to be called dead at about the 46-yard line, 47-yard line we'll call it. So good field position here for the Charger offense once again. 1:59 left in this game and 1 timeout.
Plenty of time for a scoring drive, especially with a short field. You're at the 46. You're near midfield. Would not be surprised if Heritage Hall maybe tries to take a shot play here.
So it looks like we're going to have Hudson Ferris into the game for this possession here for the Chargers, mounting a huge lead here in this second quarter, 31-7 now over the Anadarko Warriors here on homecoming night. Great crowd on hand here at Pop Murray Field. The fake is to Waddell. But Ferris is looking deep. He's got Gerard Williams out there on the sidelines. The ball is caught, but it is going to be out of bounds. Not able to keep the feet in bounds right there. Looks like Gerard Williams had pretty good position on the cornerback.
Yeah, just a ball that kind of just hung up in the air. But, I mean, incredible effort that Williams even got his hands on that. And he was close to catching that in bounds. I think he just didn't get it quite handled before he walked out of bounds.
So this is going to be a 2nd and 10 for the Chargers. Ball still sitting at the 46-yard line. Minute 49 left here in the second quarter. Ferris dropping back, looking for Rhett Davis underneath. Oh, and I saw it right about the 50-yard line. It looks like Rhett Davis had it in his hands. The ball was thrown a little high, but I think if you ask Rhett Davis, he would want that one back. And Davis was popped pretty good after the ball was in his hands, and he's still down on the turf, shaken up just a little bit. We'll see what's happening there with Rhett Davis as they tend to him. Hey, Spark proudly supports Heritage Hall Athletics. Fuel your Charger pride with burgers, bites, and cold delights. Come see us before or after every big game. In Chisholm Creek, follow us at Eat at Spark on Instagram for more. Looks like Rhett Davis is good. He's up and getting off under his own power, which is good to see. So this is still going to bring up another 3rd and 10. Only 5 seconds ran off the clock for the Chargers on that last play. Do you go for it right here, Caleb?
I mean, I think so. I mean, I don't think you want to give Anadarko the ball back with, a decent opportunity to have a shot to cut into this lead. They do get the ball shot in the second half. So worst case, you probably want to end this drive with the ball or have as little time as possible for Anadarko.
So it's been Hudson Ferris this whole way here on this possession for the Chargers. Flips it out there to Max Everett. Max Everett looking for a crease, and he's got one. He breaks it outside. Good tackle on the play, but let's see where this mark is going to be. It's going to come up just about a half a yard short, it looks like. Maybe a yard, maybe a full yard short. So this is going to be a 4th and 1 here for the Charger offense.
There was no hesitation. Heritage Hall didn't even look like they were coming off the field.
Didn't even bat an eye. And you think this might be a heavy dose of Max Everett right here. Hudson Ferris looking, finds a receiver, Trip Thomas, out on the sideline. That reception is good, and that's going to be a 4th down conversion for Heritage Hall. Continuing this drive here right before the halftime. Completion there, Hudson Ferris to Trip Thomas for the 1st down.
Yeah, a little quick out route there. Anadarko playing back, and good pass there from Ferris to find Thomas on the sideline.
As we said, Heritage Hall has scored on their last 5 possessions, looking to make it 6 in a row to really put some distance in this ball game. Tegan Lawson's back in. There's a flag on the play. This is going to be a false start, looks like, here against the Chargers. Or it's going to be they said offsides. Called offsides on the Chargers. So that's going to push it back to a 1st and 15. Approaching 1 minute left here in the second quarter. Porter England in for the Chargers. Tegan Lawson at quarterback. He's looking for Gerard Williams deep once again, and he has him. Oh, and that ball falls short, but there's the flag. That is going to be a pass interference against Anadarko. Tegan Lawson was looking for a streaking Gerard Williams and had him open on the play.
Yeah, Williams almost came down that even with the interference. And Anadarko got beat again, and I think they just would have rather taken the penalty instead of giving up a touchdown.
So they'll mark off 15 against the Warriors right here.
15-yard penalty.
And they will mark this ball at about the 29-yard line, and they will move the sticks. Fresh set of downs here for the Chargers, trying to add to this 31-7 lead. Another flag coming in. Oh, a sideline warning this time against Anadarko. So a sideline warning by each team.
And I think someone called a timeout.
Looks like Anadarko called the timeout right here. I don't have an indication on who called this timeout. I don't think it would be Heritage in that situation. Yes, that was Anadarko that called that one. It feels like a big, a big stop that Anadarko needs right here to kind of stop this bleeding, if you will.
Yeah, you look at it two ways here for Anadarko. You either have the ball, start the second half down 24, maybe you have a chance if you get the ball back quickly to go cutting the lead now, or you're down 31 or 27 or 31 at halftime. So, that's the difference between a 3-possession and a 4-possession game going into the locker room.
So Heritage Hall just looking at a 1st and 10, ball on the 29-yard line. It's going to be Tegan Lawson in there for the Chargers at quarterback. If you're just joining us, this is 31 unanswered points for Heritage Hall since the opening drive by the Warriors, going 82 yards for the first touchdown of the game. Following the turnover on downs on Heritage's first possession, and it has been all Heritage Hall since then. Tegan Lawson with the pump fake, looking for Gerard Williams, has him wide open, touchdown Heritage Hall. And just like that, that's another Charger touchdown. 29-yard touchdown pass from Tegan Lawson to Gerard Williams. Gerard Williams' second touchdown of the night.
Yeah, that was too easy for Heritage Hall. Beat him off the line, had about 5 yards of separation, and Lawson just dropped it in a bucket there in the end zone, and this game is blown wide open.
Gerard Williams having himself a ball game so far. Touchdown receptions of 62 yards, touchdown reception of 29 yards, and also add in an interception into that stat category. So Gerard Williams having a Gerard Williams type night here at Heritage Hall, extends the lead 37-7, awaiting the extra point by Bo Butler. Bo Butler, who tonight has kicked a 43-yard field goal as well, as he just kind of bunts this one up there, and it's good for the point after. So that increases it 38-7. Heritage Hall leads Anadarko with 49 seconds left here in the second quarter. I'm going to have to go to a new sheet, Caleb, of my possessions here with all these touchdowns. Here it is, a look at it once again. Caleb, tell me what you see on this play.
I mean, Anadarko pressed up on all the receivers, and you're not beating Gerard Williams on press coverage. I mean, he's 5 yards past the corner there, R.J. Perry for Anadarko. There's nothing you can do if he gets behind you.
All Lawson had to do was just drop it in the basket. Let Gerard go get it.
And you would think with the talent that Gerard Williams has, defense is key on him. There's no safety help for that corner. He was all by himself, and, I'm sure Gerard Williams loves seeing that, just running past the corner. And, yeah, Lawson didn't have to do anything else and just to deliver a dime into the end zone.
As the Heritage Hall fight song begins to play, boy, here on homecoming night, Heritage Hall has just opened it up here in the second quarter. Offensive explosion that has just happened, scoring on the last 6 possessions. Unprecedented here for Heritage Hall. Heritage Hall, like we said, averaging 31 points a game this season, already 38 here in the first half. The highest point total this year for Heritage Hall came last week in a 48-12 win over the North Rock Creek Cougars. So 48 point total is definitely in danger tonight of fall.
Oh, absolutely. You're going to have, about 24 minutes of game clock to score over 10 more points? There's definitely an opportunity to do that here.
So there's another touchback there by Bo Butler. We'll see if Anadarko just plays it safe, runs the ball right now, gets into the half, and tries to regroup a little bit. Hey, stick around for halftime. We've got a couple of presentations that will be going to the field and making some announcements as well with the homecoming court. And then come follow us straight back after that as Caleb Kalsich and I will break down first half action and kind of our how we see this game unfolding and the adjustments were made, and then talk a little bit about ChargerVision and some of the impacts that it's had in Caleb's career choice that he's doing right now, and we'll catch up with Caleb on everything that he's in the middle of right up at KU. I know there's a big game coming up, Caleb, that a couple of weeks you'll be calling, KU K-State.
Yeah.
Boy, what a great game that'll be.
Yeah,
Huh?
hey, look, KU's lost the last 17. Would be great.
Lost the last
yeah,
17.
would be great if the one I get to call is the one they break the streak. So
that's good stuff. So stick around after halftime. We're about 25 seconds away right now. It's been a great showing for Heritage Hall. I think exactly what Coach Bogert wanted to see out of this offense. This offense, 30-0 over Clinton week 1, scored 43 against Millwood, 48 against North Rock Creek.
Kind of a bizarre timeout. Anadarko let about 20 seconds run off the clock before deciding to call one with 13 seconds to go in the half.
One timeout left for Heritage. Coach Bogert probably eyeing that, trying to figure out if we can make that work to our advantage.
I don't think there's a good opportunity to get the ball back here. But, hey, weirder things have happened in the sport, so you never know.
I won't rule anything out with
true.
this team. So a 2nd and 1 here for the Warriors. 31 unanswered, as we talked about, for the Chargers. The give is to Pendarvis. Taken down, and that's probably going to do it. It's going to be a first down. Clock will stop, but it will start once the ball is placed. And there it is. And that is 0, so that ends an impressive second quarter here for Heritage Hall and concludes a wonderful first half by this Charger. Not only the offense, but an entire team effort, the adjustments that were made on the defensive side of the ball and also offense. Heritage Hall 38, Anadarko 7. It is halftime. We'll take a break. You are watching Heritage Hall football right here on the ChargerVision Network.
When you walk into this room, who you have beside you matters. Experience matters. We fight in Oklahoma and around the country, standing toe-to-toe against the most powerful adversaries in the world, and we win. Our record speaks for itself. Our verdicts and settlements speak for themselves, and we want to fight for you. Nix Patterson, Oklahoma attorneys with world-class experience.
Joe Cooper Ford has 3 Ford dealerships around the metro to serve Oklahoma better than anyone else. What does having 3 of the best Ford dealerships in the state mean for you? It means 3 times the selection and 3 times the savings. And that's 3 times the service. And Joe guarantees to beat any price in Oklahoma by $500, or he'll give you $10,000. That's why Joe beats the competition 3-1. I love Joe, Oklahoma.
The elite always work to get better. So every day, we dedicate ourselves to being the best orthopedic surgeons in the country, committed to helping you be your best. No matter where you are or the obstacles you face, we never give up, because it's too important to you and the communities we serve. And for that reason, Saints march on.
Here for Heritage Hall. Hey, and listen this, we've got a very special guest here. We had a beautiful surprise. Sloan Travis, our Heritage Hall homecoming queen.
Well,
Now, man, tell me about your night. I mean, everything was beautiful. The day as a whole, has it been one of those hectic days for you getting ready for homecoming?
Yeah,
Kind of tell me about that experience.
it's been pretty busy. It's been a super fun week and experience for sure. I feel very honored and grateful to be up for homecoming queen candidate and stuff. And then the day's been fun. It's been busy with lip sync, doing all of that. Hopefully we won.
So we don't know what class won yet, do we?
No,
That
we
hasn't
don't.
been-
I hope the seniors do.
Was there a song? What song was lip sync?
We did a ton. So
Oh,
we
it
did
was
like
just like a
Welcome to
medley?
Miami. Yeah, we did a bunch of Pitbull songs and like Bad Bunny songs, a ton of fun
is
stuff.
that right? What was your most enjoyable part? Was there one thing about homecoming that you really just loved? I mean, that you were like, what an experience this has been.
With the whole homecoming corps, every night we've had like a little bonding experience. So it's been super fun to like get close with everyone that was nominated and just kind of get close with people you don't always hang out with. So it was super fun.
That is great. Now, I heard them announce, whenever you were walking out, it's maybe Auburn or maybe University of Oklahoma.
Yes.
So kind of where you lean in there.
I don't know. I just applied pretty soon after August, like school started. So I'm still waiting to hear back from a couple schools. But I got into OU, so that's fun. So
Congratulations.
really considering that.
Now, what are you going to study? Have you thought about that?
I think I want to do something with business and marketing, just something fun like that. I don't know.
Okay, wonderful. Well, man, I think it's always such a special time, and having families here, and I saw your parents down there, and obviously
Yes.
they love that. And now your older brother, as if anybody doesn't know, I mean, I will tell you who your older brother was.
Yes, Barrett Travis.
Barrett Travis.
Yeah.
So Barrett Travis, obviously, we have talked about on the broadcast for a number of years, and he's at OU now. And
Yes, he loves it.
as well. Does he love it up
Yeah,
there?
he loves it.
How's everything going? I know that he walked on at OU this year, and he's loving the environment.
Yeah, he loves it. He loves the experience. He's so thankful for that. So I'm so glad he was able to come and support tonight. So
Was he
that
out
super-
here tonight?
Yeah,
I
he's
didn't-
here. Yeah, my whole family came.
Okay.
They're so supportive. So.
Oh, well, that is wonderful. So any special shout-outs to anyone? Is there anything that you want to say following this night and such a wonderful evening for you?
I want to thank my mom and my dad. They're my biggest supporters, and they're just everything for me. And they do anything for me. So yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us
Yeah,
in here
of course.
tonight.
This
It was
was
such a
fun.
pleasure having you in here. And we will take our break. We will be back. You are watching Heritage Hall Football right here on the ChargerVision Network.
When you walk into this room, who you have beside you matters. Experience matters. We fight in Oklahoma and around the country, standing toe-to-toe against the most powerful adversaries in the world, and we win. Our record speaks for itself. Our verdicts and settlements speak for themselves, and we want to fight for you. Nix Patterson, Oklahoma attorneys with world-class experience.
And we're back. Such a great guest at halftime. I forgot that was happening. So that's great. But it's been a wonderful night here in the half for Heritage Hall and for the football team. And the adjustments that we were able to make after that first drive is just so indicative of this program and what we see so often. Heritage Hall scored on their last 6 possessions of the first half. Increasing this, 31 unanswered points following the 88-yard initial drive by Anadarko. It was one, boy, I'll tell you what, when that game started and Anadarko, went on the 88-yard drive, it was, boy, it's one of those things like, hey, we might have a ball game in front of us, and this is a very talented team on that side of the ball, and they showed it. They came out, they had a power running game with especially number 42, and that was Ferris Satir, a great power running game that Heritage really on defense wasn't able to really contend with on that first drive, and they connected on a big pass as well. So, it's one of those things that you looked at it initially and said, hey, we've got to we've got to make some adjustments here. And you look at some of the first half highlights and an opening play for Heritage Hall, and that was a nice big reception from Keegan Lawson down to Trip Thomas. And so that really got the things going. Another play was followed there where Porter England was wide open on a play as well, and it was just a bit overthrown to him. Or that could have been a big play as well. Eventually, on that first drive, Heritage Hall turned it over on downs, and that led to that first long sustained drive by Anadarko. But this is Tegan Lawson dropping back, and, of course, he's hitting Gerard Williams, and this is the 62-yard. No, this wasn't the 62-yard intercept or touchdown return. This was just a big reception. Gerard Williams is having a huge night. This is the 3-yard touchdown run by Tyler Butler to get Heritage Hall on the board, and that tied the game up at 7. It's 7-7 at that moment. And since then, it has been all Heritage Hall. Gerard Williams, I said, 2 touchdowns on the night, another interception as well. Great tackle there by Max Everett, him showing that he's always got the motor running and doing great things. You know, and then there was a couple of big chunk plays that you saw, especially with number 42, and that was Ferris Satir, you know, early on in this game, and we really haven't seen a whole lot from him here in the second quarter. So Heritage Hall making the nice adjustments there. Kowalski, he was a quarterback. He's got a lot of athleticism, tries to do a lot with his feet. This one, ill-advised throw, rolling to his right, throwing back to the middle, and throws it right into the arms of David Griffin. And then the pitch, the end around to Gerard Williams. And, like we said, you give that kid any room at all, and that was a nice big game by Gerard Williams as Heritage Hall, the parade had begun at this point. And you'll see, the pass out there to Rhett Davis, and you kind of start seeing that momentum change and that momentum build right before our eyes. That was Tegan Lawson to Rhett Davis. Lawson dropping back. This is hitting Trip Thomas, and Trip Thomas has a nice lead blocker out there in front of him. You got Walker Waddell blocking right there. You also had, of course, Ryan Bullock out leading that play. So that made it 14-0 on the 9-yard Keegan Lawson to Trip Thomas. And then the defense kind of takes over at this point. There was just not anything that happened on the offensive side of the ball for Anadarko. Hudson Ferris right here. He's flushed out of the pocket. Does a good job getting back to the middle, lowering his shoulder there and picking up about 9 on that play. And then there's the 43-yard field goal attempt. That turned into be a field goal made for Bo Butler. Ran him on the field. Nice 43-yarder. Had plenty of room to spare.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about just the ability that Heritage Hall has to – you have a certain range that you can get into, and you feel confident about your kicker making it.
So that was Heritage Hall just on the scoring onslaught. That was the 3rd possession in a row that Heritage Hall had put points on the board. This one, the Kowalski's trying to get it over the hands of Trip Thomas, and he does, but falls right into the hands of Gerard Williams. Gerard Williams ended up stepping out of bounds at the 15-yard line following that interception. But that led to this 7-yard touchdown run by Max Everett over the left side. To keep the scoring onslaught going. And then the defense once again bowing their head. That give right there is to Pendarvis, and there's just no running room for these Anadarko running backs.
No, not since the first drive of this game. They've done just a fantastic job shutting that down.
So this is Kowalski looking once again out there trying to get a big chunk play and hitting a home run ball, and that's Okego that steps in front of that one for the 3rd interception of the game. And then there's the tight end pass over to Cannon Bronson. He finds Gerard Williams out there open, getting up the field, and that's a 62-yard touchdown pass from Cannon Bronson to Gerard Williams to keep the scoring going for the Chargers. Charger defense right here just completely smothering the Warrior offense. Don't think the Warriors, maybe 2 or 3 first downs since that first drive.
There was literally not much on the offense for the Warriors in the second half, or since the first touchdown drive.
And here's a nice run right there by Max Everett, and then this is Keegan Lawson. I'm sorry, that's that 4th down conversion right there by Hudson Ferris. That was that 4th and 1 play that threw it out there to Trip Thomas to pick up the first down. And then that brought in Keegan Lawson once again. And he's looking for his favorite target. That's Gerard Williams. He finds Gerard Williams 5 yards behind the defender, and that's a 29-yard touchdown pass to finish out the scoring here in the first half. So it was just an onslaught of scoring, an onslaught of points, and it shows right now on the scoreboard.
Oh, it absolutely does. 38 unanswered points for Heritage Hall since the 7-0 start for Anadarko. Heritage Hall, we'll see what happens here in the second half. Anadarko's getting an opportunity to kind of establish what they want here in half number 2. Since that first drive, not much for Anadarko. You kind of expect Heritage Hall to continue been doing what they've been doing in that first half on defense. So we'll see what the Chargers offer.
Well, we're going to take a break right here, and we're going to be back. We're going to talk about some ChargerVision, and then we're going to be talking to Caleb to talk about some upcoming things that you have going on up there at KU. You are watching Heritage Hall football right here on the ChargerVision Network.
Joe Cooper Ford has 3 Ford dealerships around the metro to serve Oklahoma better than anyone else. What does having 3 of the best Ford dealerships in the state mean for you? It means 3 times the selection and 3 times the savings, and that's 3 times the service. And Joe guarantees to beat any price in Oklahoma by $500, or he'll give you $10,000. That's why Joe beats the competition 3-1. I love Joe, Oklahoma.
The elite always work to get better. So every day, we dedicate ourselves to being the best orthopedic surgeons in the country, committed to helping you be your best. No matter where you are or the obstacles you face, we never give up, because it's too important to you and the communities we serve. And for that reason, Saints march on.
And we're back. Beautiful homecoming night here at Pop Murray Field, and just a great showing. We are about 6 minutes away from kickoff, and, we wanted to talk about, Caleb, your time here, you graduated in 22, correct?
I did.
Yeah, graduated in 22, and, if nobody caught the link, I'm sure everybody caught the Lincoln Christian broadcast, but if not, I thought it would be a good opportunity to maybe kind of highlight some of the stuff that you've been doing as well up at KU, and if anybody doesn't know, Caleb is doing a great job up at KU in the sports department there, and so tell us a little bit about what you've been doing, what you have coming up, and just kind of what's going on with you up there in Rock Chalk Country.
Yeah, so at Kansas we have a student radio that allows us to broadcast Kansas events. So I've done football, I've done basketball, I've done a ton of softball, and it's like we're broadcasting live. Some of them were official, some of them were not, like football and basketball. Obviously, we are not the official voice of KU there. But for softball, like I am. And I called like 25 last year, and most of them I was by myself. So that's a whole different story.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
that's a different deal, isn't
especially when you're doing radio and you have to talk a long time. You don't get to have the viewers see what's. But outside of that, I also write. I've been writing for the University Daily Kansan, which is the student paper up there. I actually just wrote for the KU Cincinnati game last week where they lost in the last minute of the game.
Now let me ask you, what do you the writing? I mean, is that something that you did before? I mean, is that something that does that come to you real easy? Do you like the writing aspect of it?
So no, when I originally got there, I did not start. I started that my junior year. I did mostly softball stuff because no one wanted to do it, and I was like, I'll do it. And I would have to not only broadcast the games, but then also have to write an article after the game was over and publish that. So I probably got 20 articles published in the spring. I've done a couple of football. I wrote one last week. No, I wouldn't say writing would be like the thing I want to do. but it's good to have,
Sure.
things that I can show that I can do.
That's right. No, that is wonderful, and we're so proud of you. You know, I told you that at Lincoln Christian, and actually Caleb graduated with my younger son Brigham here, and they were good friends, and so proud of you. I mean, I've known you a long time, and so great to see everything you were doing. And we talk a little bit about ChargerVision and the importance of this student broadcast, and can you tell the viewers a little bit about your experience with ChargerVision, how that kind of maybe propelled you to want to do what you're doing today?
I'll start it off right now. I would not be doing this without ChargerVision. I'll make that clear. I want to say I started ChargerVision my sophomore year. I don't think I did much my freshman. That was also a long time ago, so not really sure on the timeline there. But I did, I want to say, a football game first, and I was just doing cameras, and I was like, this is awesome. I love doing it. I didn't get to obviously call the games, and at that time of my life, I don't think calling games, if you would have asked someone, they probably would have said, you're lying if you look now that I'm doing this, because I was shy back then. But broadcasting games or behind the scenes was something that I thought was fantastic. So I started picking that up, and near the end of my high school, athletically, baseball, I kind of hurt my shoulder, kind of just didn't work out. So I was like, I still wanted to be involved in sports.
Right.
Coaching obviously wasn't, I was too young to do that. So I was like, let's do broadcasting. And, ChargerVision was something that I loved doing. And then when I was making my decision to go to school, that was the reason I went to Kansas. I was between OU and Kansas. OU didn't exactly offer sports media. It was just journalism, and Kansas did. So that's why I went to KU. And, without ChargerVision, none of this I would not be where I am without ChargerVision.
Man, I love that. And we want to encourage anybody that's watching, parents, students, current Charger students, if you know one or two, or if you're a parent out here watching and you know that your child really has a desire to do something like this and to be on this side of it, it's so rewarding. And we would just encourage you to have them volunteer, because really ChargerVision is powered by students. I mean, this is a student broadcast here for the most part, and it's dedicated volunteers. But think about it. I mean, you can come out and you can have the best seat in the house, right? You can watch sports. You can be the one that gets that great camera shot of a Heritage Hall touchdown that gets put up everywhere. So we encourage you, if you have a desire, or you just you want to come out here and be a part of something that's actually a little bit bigger than yourself, parent, students, hey, come here and do some volunteer work with ChargerVision. We need all of the student help that we can get, because that's how we are able to do everything that we do. And to Caleb's point, I mean, it's something that can really propel you into what you really want to do.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, not only do you get to have it forever, you get to say, I worked on this. You get to put that out wherever you go. Whenever I got to KU, I was ahead, because I knew most of the background behind broadcasting. I knew camera placements. I knew, how to direct its live stream. I knew how to, do graphics and all that stuff. ChargerVision really prepared me for going to the journalism side of college, especially early.
Well, man, that's great. And now, so what's next? So you've got, did we talk about this yet? You've got Kansas K-State coming up. Obviously, you said it's obviously not the official broadcast, but what a fun ball game that's going to be.
That is going to be great. Usually, obviously, I'm a senior now, so that is reserved for seniors only. That'll be the first broadcast. Well, I guess I did soccer this year, so that's a lie. That'll be my second broadcast I have done this year. I think I'm also going to Ames when Kansas goes there for football. Okay. That's a couple weeks after, so I know of 2 football. Obviously, basketball is coming up. After that, I'm sure I'll do a couple of those, and then spring is to be determined based on where I'll be for my internship.
Okay,
so,
well, there you go. Well, we're hoping for good things, and we know there'll be some wonderful things happen. How's the sentiment on campus about Kansas football right now?
Not great. They lost to Cincinnati last week. People from Oklahoma are probably we're used to football teams not having great defenses. That's what That's what Kansas is dealing
That's
with.
what Kansas is dealing with now.
Great offenses, bad defenses.
Because, there was a lot of optimism going into the year, I mean, with Kansas and him seeing some of those defensive breakdowns right now. Yeah, it's, like you said, you've been a Sooner fan your whole life. We know when we've got those defensive breakdowns, and it's tough.
It is, and you talk about expectations. Last year was supposed to be Kansas fighting for a playoff spot, and it was bad. They should have won 5. Basketball was also not great last year. Football didn't have the expectations that it did last year. People still thought they'd be good, but last week was just brutal, losing to Cincy with like 30 seconds to go. That's when they took the lead. So
that's just the dagger, isn't it? That's the dagger. Hey, we're going to take our last break before the half, and we're going to be back. The teams are on the field getting loose. We're a couple minutes away from second half action. You are watching Heritage Hall football right here on ChargerVision.
Joe Cooper Ford has 3 Ford dealerships around the metro to serve Oklahoma better than anyone else. What does having 3 of the best Ford dealerships in the state mean for you? It means 3 times the selection and 3 times the savings. And that's 3 times the service. And Joe guarantees to beat any price in Oklahoma by $500, or he'll give you $10,000. That's why Joe beats the competition 3-1. I love Joe, Oklahoma.
The elite always work to get better. So every day, we dedicate ourselves to being the best orthopedic surgeons in the country, committed to helping you be your best. No matter where you are or the obstacles you face, we never give up, because it's too important to you and the communities we serve. And for that reason, Saints march on.
And we're back, almost ready for second half kickoff. Taking a look at some scores around the state. Caleb, you got any that stand out to you right here?
Well, the team that Heritage Hall has next on their schedule, Kingfisher, up in the third, 35-21 over Purcell. And then, we talked about Lincoln Christian a couple weeks ago. They're up 49-zip on Hall and Hall, late third as well.
Boy, those guys, I'm telling you, they are stout. This might be the best team that they've put together, even in the last few years that we've seen. We see North Rock Creek, who we, were victors with 48-12 last week, up 43-0 on Star Spencer. Star Spencer's having a tough go of it. Got beat 63-0 last week by this Anadarko team. Looking at any more of the
Plainview is up 34-0. Heritage Hall has them in a couple weeks against Pauls Valley.
That's right. Yeah, Pauls Valley having a rough go of it so far, 0-4 on the year, and that looks like that is all the scores around the state here. District games for Heritage Hall coming up. So, like you said, this is kind of that tough stretch where there's going to be some teams, that's going to, Plainview coming up, Kingfisher, then Plainview following this game tonight. So, this is a time of year where you really want things clicking and going for you.
Yeah, and it seems, 38 unanswered for Heritage Hall. They're clicking in the right direction as second half kickoff is away.
Yep, second half kickoff is up. And it is fielded by Anadarko. Anadarko is going to get the ball to start the second half, and he's hit hard right there. And he's hit hard by Colson rushing, starting off the onslaught once again here for Heritage Hall. So Anadarko is going to take over, and it looks like it's going to be at about they're going to call it at about the 22-yard line, it looks like. So we are off in third quarter action here, 38-7. Heritage Hall leads. You saw homecoming night, so some of the players in the homecoming court was Terrence Johnson, Klein Reuter, David Griffin. David Griffin, our eventual homecoming king tonight. And that give is to, that is Ferris Satir again, and he is swarmed under. And he is swarmed under right there by Echok, Jackson Echok. There's going to be a loss on the play there on the carry by Satir. Loss of 6 yards, so that's going to push it back to a 2nd and 16. Ball sitting on the 17-yard line. And it looks like this defense is taken up right where they left off.
Yeah, there's no let up from this defense. Anadarko kind of needing this possession to go well to even have a chance to come back in this one. And Heritage Hall is just not allowing that an option right now.
So 2nd and 16 for the Warriors. Showing pressure is Heritage Hall. And the give is up the middle The tackle is made right there by Carson Phelps initially on the hit. You see the Heritage defense getting the crowd in for this third down, 3rd and 16 here for the Warriors. Just haven't been able to mount anything substantial since the first drive of the game.
No, and Heritage Hall has pretty much taken away the running game. They are daring Anadarko to beat them through the air, which they haven't done yet so far.
Give is up the middle, hard run right there by Satir, but it's only going to get back to about the original line of scrimmage, maybe even a little bit short from the original line of scrimmage. So this is going to be an opening punt here in the second half for the Anadarko Warriors. So the last 5 possessions for the Warriors, as we talked about, interception, punt, interception, interception, punt. Not the way that Coach Jackson drew this one up tonight for the Warriors.
No, and you got to credit the Heritage Hall defense. They, since the opening drive, they adjusted and have just shut down this Anadarko offense completely.
Nice punt there by Anadarko. Takes a nice Anadarko bounce down at about the 38-yard line on the Heritage Hall side of the field. So Heritage will line up for their first possession of the game. It looks like it's going to be Tegan Lawson at quarterback for the Chargers to start the second half. Caleb, I'm going to turn my page on possessions, because we're full from all of these touchdowns here in a row.
six straight scoring drives for Heritage Hall since their opening turnover on downs. They were inside the 20-yard line. So, I mean, you can even look back to that drive. They moved the ball down the field, just kind of stalled in the red zone. Since then, no problems on offense.
So I'm going to turn it over in faith and get ready to mark something else down as Heritage Hall lines up at the 38-yard line. First drive of the second half here for the Chargers. Big lead, 38-7 here. District matchup, second district game of the year. 48-12 over North Rock Creek last week. That ball is thrown high, intended for Cannon Bronson. And that falls incomplete. So, like we said, 48-12, Anadarko tonight. Kingfisher Yellow Jackets coming up next week, followed by Plainview. So a tough 3 games in a row here for this Charger team. Head-to-head overall, Heritage Hall leads this series 4-0. We talked about last year's game, 45-0. Beat Anadarko 42-14 in 22, 45-22 in 21. And then way back in 2020, score close ball game 39-27. So this has been a high-scoring game for Heritage Hall almost every outing.
Yeah, and you look at it, the lowest points that Heritage Hall scored against Anadarko ever is 39, and they're one shy of that right now at halftime and going into third quarter.
So it looks like one of those teams that just Heritage Hall shows up, and Coach Bogert does a great job of preparing for this ball game. So this is going to be a 3rd and 8 for the Chargers. The ball's at the 40-yard line. Lawson files a receiver out there. That's Gerard Williams. It looks like he initially had the first down. He looks like he backtracked just a little bit. We're going to look at this spot.
They're going to give it to him.
It's right on the sticks. And it is. They wave it on, so that's going to be good enough for a Heritage Hall first down. That was Lawson to Gerard Williams. Gerard Williams having an incredible night tonight, leading the way with 2 touchdowns for the Chargers. It's going to be first down. This give is going to be to Tyler Butler. Tyler Butler getting a few good quality carries tonight in that backfield for the Chargers. Butler came into, let's see if we have any rushing totals for Butler coming into this game, and we really don't. No significant carries and yards, but it's been a good job by Butler, even with a 3-yard touchdown run to get the scoring started here for this Charger offense.
Yeah, it's always great to find another player that you can count on in situations like this. They brought him in the red zone as Heritage Hall got an illegal substitution penalty. But, no, I mean, finding players throughout the season that you can rely on is just what makes good football teams go.
Max Everett and Nash Iser getting the bulk of the carries for Heritage Hall this year outside of your quarterback Hudson Ferris and Tegan Lawson. So good to see Butler in there, Tyler Butler in there getting some good reps here in this district game. That give is to Iser. Oh, and he's got a nice hole right there. And he hits it hard. Good blocking out front by Ayers Kurtz. And that's going to spring us for another first down. Nice 12-yard gain there by Nash Iser.
Yeah, we haven't seen a whole lot of under-center handoff runs for Heritage Hall today. They've all kind of been out of shotgun or bringing in bigger backs to do that for them, but had Iser way behind the formation and just got him going with how fast he is, and he's kind of hard to bring down, especially when he gets going, so really saw a 12-yard gain.
Great blocking out front there as well by Jackson Echok. Oh, that ball's on the ground. Oh, it looked like the ball was on the ground there for a second. But that was another carry by Nash Iser. I saw Davis get spun around a little bit right there. It looked like he was about to recover a ball that was on the carpet, but that's not the case, and that was just a gain of 6 yards on the play by Iser.
No, Heritage Hall now establishing the run. We saw a lot of downfield passes, curl routes from the Chargers in the first half, now just changing it up, changing the pace of play, and Anadarko has really no answer on defense.
So this is going to be a 2nd and 4. The give is to Iser once again. Heritage Hall just keeping it right up the middle, jumps a player, and that's going to be a good. He's tackled down at about the 24-yard line, 23-yard line. Another first down here for Heritage Hall, so just a nice methodic drive, keeping the ball on the ground and just pounding that Anadarko defensive line.
And, with Anadarko's been on the field a lot on defense, so Heritage Hall has kind of worn them down. Now really be able to do whatever they want on the offensive side. And that's just a testament of how good this offense has been, sustaining drives, defense giving them the football back, and the Chargers are just, moving the football down the field.
Iser lined up about 7 yards deep. The give is to him once again, and he's hit at the line of scrimmage and slung backwards. That's going to be Miles Wardo on the initial tackle. So it's going to be a loss of about 2 on the play there for Iser. That's going to bring us to a 2nd and 12. Cannon Bronson, the converted quarterback, with his first touchdown pass of the year, came in the second quarter, and that was a 62-yard pass to Gerard Williams. So good to see Cannon Bronson in the stat sheet tonight. Give his to Iser up the middle. Iser getting the bulk of the carries here on this drive for Coach Bogert. Starting to see some guys a little slow getting up off the ground in the white jerseys.
Yeah, I mean, like we've been saying, Anadarko is probably pretty gassed on the defensive side. They've been out there for a long time, and now Heritage Hall is loving this right now. They'll hold the ball for however long they want in this third quarter and just continue taking the time off the clock.
3rd and 6 here for the Chargers. Give is to Max Everett. Shaking bacon, little jump cut right there at the line of scrimmage. He's going to be close to a first down. Looks like he's going to be about a half a yard short, and so this is going to bring up the first 4th down attempt here for the Chargers in the second half. We're going to call it a 4th and 2. Coach Bogert, no question whatsoever. Not one player even looked to the sideline. They just knew we're going for it.
I don't even think Bo Butler probably has his helmet on right now. They knew they were going for this regardless.
Now, Bo Butler would be the only one that could possibly, run on that field right now. I mean, because you're keeping your offense out there. I mean, there's no doubt. That give is to Max Everett. No, I'm sorry, that's Iser. Great big hole. Great job there by the offensive line for the Chargers. And that's going to be plenty for another Heritage Hall first down. So this is going to bring us to a 1st and goal. Ball sitting at the 5-yard line for this first drive here in the second half that has really almost taken up the entire quarter with only 3.5 minutes left to go.
Yeah, there's not really a reason to take your team off the field on 4th down. You have the lead. You want to be able to do this in late game situations when you absolutely need it. So get reps now is what you should be doing.
Lawson under center. The give is to Iser, and he's down to about the 2-yard line is Nash Iser. He's been the workhorse this entire drive. We'll see if Coach Bogert lets him get the stat as well of the 6 points in the end zone as he runs off the field right now.
Yeah, I think Walker Waddell checked in the game, so I think he might be getting the football on this play.
Might be time for the Waddell Dozer coming up here shortly. They've got him in the backfield along with Tegan Lawson. Got an extra blocker in there, and Carson Phelps, number 11. So it's not going to be the Waddell Dozer. It's going to be a give to Waddell. And he is hemmed under by number 21, Miles Wardo. We've called his name all night long on defense for the Warriors. Nice night for that young man.
I mean, I know Waddell lost a yard on that, but just how hard it is to bring him down. He ran over the first tackler for Anadarko. He did enough to hold him up to allow more Warriors over there to get him down, but that's why they bring him in these short yard situations. He is hard to bring down.
Cannon Bronson, Porter England into the game for the Charger offense. Klein Reuter in the backfield. The fake end around. Lawson, he's looking for Klein Reuter out there, and that's going to be touchdown, Heritage Hall. That is a 5-yard touchdown reception from Klein Reuter from Tegan Lawson for the 7th straight scoring drive for the Chargers.
There were a couple of different things that Heritage Hall did on that. Number one, they brought a man in motion across the line of scrimmage. We've already seen the jet test pass today from Heritage Hall, so that kind of got Anadarko worrying about that. Then you rolled out Lawson, who is a weapon on the ground, and having an out route rolling out is really hard to defend. So just an overall great play call there for Heritage Hall.
Our Nix Patterson feature player of the game, Klein Reuter, and that is Klein Reuter's first touchdown receiving of the year. The kick is up, and it is good, and Heritage Hall extends its lead now 45-7. 45 unanswered points, 7 straight possessions with a score from Heritage Hall. As the replays are going up there on the Bogert family scoreboard, and you'll see it right here on your screen, Klein Reuter, first touchdown reception of the year, and it comes from Tegan Lawson on the 5-yard variety here. With that, about the 2-minute mark in the third quarter.
Yeah, not only did they score on their first drive of the half, they took off about 7 minutes of time. So Heritage Hall showed not only can they strike quickly, they can slow it down and play as slow as you want. And, Anadarko now down 38 with just over 14 minutes of total game time left. Good spot for Heritage Hall to be in right now.
Because that's not typically what we see from this high-strike, high-flying offense, too. Just slow it down and ground pound and just control it all the way down the field.
No, you don't. But, it's great to be able to do that if you need to. If you have to slow down the game, waste some clock, Heritage Hall has now shown that they can do that. And as we talked about, they also have the ability to score in 30 seconds if they want to.
Proud to be a part of the Charger family. Dave's Hot Chicken is here to spice up your game day. Enjoy our mind-blowing hot chicken from our newest location in Chisholm Creek. My favorite part of the game right here is when the cheerleaders start throwing footballs into the stands, the little mini footballs, and what they do is they start rifling them off the glass here in the press box from the track down below. So always my favorite part of the evening here at the Pop. No doubt about it. As that kick goes into the end zone once again for another touchback. Start calling him Touchback Butler, man. That's all he is. That's all he does right there. Doesn't give any other team an opportunity to return anything. Another one of those secret weapons that you don't think about. And with that, a big shout out to CBS Sports Radio 105.3 for powering ChargerVision this season. The station does a great job shining a spotlight on high school teams and players around the state, including our Heritage Hall Chargers. Tune to 105.3 on your radio for some great sports talk from the KINB crew. Ooh. Balls, was that ball on the ground? It looks like there was the ups, and we are indicating we have it. I have not seen an indication by the officials, so it's not official yet. But this is going to be a fumble recovery for Heritage Hall on the first play of this drive for Anadarko. So turnover number 4 on the night for the Anadarko Warriors.
Yeah, and if you look, so since that touchdown drive Anadarko put on in the first quarter, it's been interception, punt, interception, end of half, 3 and out, and now a fumble. So, I mean, Heritage Hall's defense has completely shut down this Anadarko offense since the opening drive.
And here it is. We get a good look at it, and it looks like it was just it was a muffed handoff. I don't know if the quarterback, Kawakli, just did not pull it out fast enough or just mismanagement. We'll try to see who was there on the recovery. Looks like the last guy up. Oh, and that's going to be, what a great night. That was Colson rushing right there coming up, it looks like, with the ball. So good job here by the Heritage or defense once again, and the give is to Tyler Butler. Nice gain of about 4 on the play for Butler.
Hudson Veras also in the game for Heritage Hall.
So that has matched the turnover total of last year's game. 5 takeaways last year for Heritage in this game in a 45-0 victory. 2 fumbles, 3 interceptions. And what we have tonight, we have, what did we have? 3 interceptions, 3 interceptions, 1 fumble. So only 4 tonight. Sorry, I added a punt in there.
Hey, but those turnovers completely changed this game.
So we need another punt,
We do.
so at least we can keep things in line year to year. I mean, we need another fumble so we can keep things in line year to year, right? The give is to Butler once again. He's slung down. That's a good tackle out there by number 44, and that is Kane Westline. Second time we've called his name tonight. Timeout on the play, on the field for an injured Charger. See that? It looks like it's a cramp situation. I don't know if does that look like Andrick Golden right there, 58?
I honestly
it's
can't
either
see that
Andrick
number.
Golden or it's Cooper Leclerc. Looks like down there just a cramp situation. It is Andrick Golden. Okay, he's down there. So Charger Volleyball closed out their regular season ranked number 3 in Class 3A with a 16-9 record. After 3-0 sweep of Millwood on Tuesday with a long break to rest and recover from a grueling regular season, the Chargers will prepare to host regionals on October 10th and 11th. Visiting the hall will be number 14 Oklahoma Bible, Amber Pocasset, Minko, Fox, and Tishomingo. Stay tuned for more details and come out to the Bogotech Gym this October to cheer the Chargers onward to the program's 11th state championship. Let's get it going. We've already got 1 state championship in the books this fall, and that was cheer. Congratulations once again. So we expect to have some more around this campus before the next month or so.
Oh, you would hope so with how these fall sports are performing. Volleyball, obviously cheer's already won one. So
softball's 24-0
softball
right
as well.
now. 24-0 regional champions. So this is a nice run that Coach Seymour's got them on right now. So here's going to be a 3rd and 8. The give is to Butler. Short gain on the play. So this is going to be another 4th down attempt. Second one of the second half here for the Chargers. This is going to be a 4th and 4. Ball sitting at the 12-yard line. See what Coach Bogert dials up here.
Heritage Hall actually doesn't have to snap this if they don't want to, but they're looking like they're lining up to. But they have 1 second on the game clock over the play clock.
So Tyler Butler's in the backfield for the Chargers with Ferris. Ferris looks out there for Cannon Bronson, and that's going to be touchdown, Heritage Hall. 12-yard touchdown pass from Hudson Ferris to Cannon Bronson. And Heritage continues to pour it on.
Yeah, a passing touchdown earlier. Now a touchdown reception for Brunson.
Cannon Bronson throwing his hat into the game.
Maybe made that a little more difficult than he may have wanted to. A little tip drill, but it got in the end zone regardless. And, I think we said Heritage Hall this is now their season high in points.
Season high in points, and also the first touchdown of the year for Cannon Bronson came into the game. 2 receptions for 16 yards with a 13-yard long, so he almost matched his year-long total right there in yardage, and then his first touchdown of the year. So here we go. We've got Klein Reuter, who scored his first touchdown of the year last possession. Now we've got Cannon Bronson getting into it.
And now we just need Brunson to get a rushing touchdown, complete the whole thing.
The trifecta, right off the fingertips there, and he recovers it into the end zone, and he says, "Oh, hey, I've been here before. It's okay. I haven't been here this year, but I've been here before. I knew what to do with it." So Heritage Hall 52-7, the first time Heritage has been in the 50s this year so far.
you know, this is a program that we see get into the 50s often year after year. So game 5 of the year, first time this offense has really gelled like we've seen tonight.
And what a great time to find it now. You know, we talked about it before the game started. You're in the heart of your schedule now. You got Anadarko tonight. You go to Kingfisher next week, then you got Plainview the week after. So a perfect time for Heritage Hall to get some offensive rhythm going.
So we'll keep our eye on it. We're going into the fourth quarter here, just starting it. Sometimes we get into that clock running situation if both coaches agree, so we'll kind of keep an eye on that. And if so, this is going to go really quick.
Yeah.
So 52-7 for the Chargers. 8 straight possessions of scores here for Heritage Hall. It's been a dominating performance on both sides of the football.
I think something to look at, and I think my math's correct on this, since the opening drive where they didn't convert that fourth down, they're 4 for 4. So they're 4 for 5 on the day on fourth downs. So that's something to, keep in mind going forward. The Heritage Hall has the ability to have a 4-down offense on the field at all times.
And we've seen it come by just running Iser up the middle. We've seen it by a pass in the flats to Trip Thomas. So we've seen it a lot of different ways with some different guys contributing on those fourth downs as well. Oh, that ball bounces, and it just – we saw that happen earlier in the first half where that ball is checking up and almost not getting into the end zone, which would be absolute disaster for Anadarko.
Yeah, because they have to recover that. They can't let that go. But once again, it just barely gets past the goal line.
That was one revolution away from just stopping on the 1-yard line right there. So Bo Butler, now he's adding that to his repertoire that he can just put a ball on the 1-yard line on a kickoff. So first and 10 for Anadarko starting at the 20-yard line. Oh, that kicked? Yeah. Okay, excuse me. That was Sean Boyd that kicked that time, and that was not Butler. This is Satir trying to get around the outside. He's hit hard once again by Colson Rushing. Colson Rushing, the sophomore, 6'3", 197, has just he has brought a load the last few weeks.
Yeah, he has, and Heritage Hall forced Satir there to run about 15 yards laterally just to try to get around the corner, and he only got a yard. So that shows how disciplined Heritage Hall has been since the opening drive. They have completely figured out this Anadarko offense.
1-yard gain for Anadarko, 2nd and 9, ball sitting at the 21-yard line. I tell you, my surprise, I went into this thinking number 5, R.J. Perry, for the Warriors would really be a guy that would contribute mightily, but they just haven't. He just hasn't. I don't know if we've called his name offensively at all. I watched him in warm-ups, and I thought, boy, this is going to be their deep threat guy. I'm really going to have to watch that.
Well, they really haven't tested the Heritage Hall secondary. They tried early in the game. I think when they stopped, or no, when it was 7-7, they tried, and before the interception they threw, they tried to get Perry in the passing game, but Heritage Hall's defensive backs have been all over the pass game. They really haven't had an opportunity to take a big shot.
So gain of 5 on that play. This is the 3rd and 4 they're trying to find any room, and they're not going to get anything. Big gang tackle there by the Chargers, and that's going to be short of a first down for Anadarko on the tackle right there. We'll check the numbers. We've got some new jerseys tonight, so we've got some people wearing different numbers. I'll let you know who that is here coming up shortly. But that was a nice stop, 1-yard gain on the play. So this is going to be 4th and 3. Anadarko back in punt formation. You think right now they'll just try to get it as far down as they can? That was Gino Granada on the tackle for Heritage Hall, wearing 68 tonight, normally wearing 46. So good tackle right there by Gino Granada. Anadarko's going to take a timeout right here, 4th and 3. Talk about it. 9:52. The clock is stopped currently at 9:52. Hey, get game day ready with Diesel Horse Sports and Orthopedics. Dr. Matt Dieselhorse works with athletes of all ages, accelerating their return to play and maximizing performance through coordinated training, injury prevention, bracing, functional rehab, and imaging. With years of medical and surgical expertise, Dr. Dieselhorse gets Oklahoma athletes back on the field. Also, while we have a break, Ryan Cunningham and Marcus Mears established the law firm of Cunningham and Mears with the mission to help Oklahomans who were injured by another's negligence. Over the last 30 years, they've helped thousands of clients recover hundreds of millions of dollars. Consultation is free, and you only pay them if they win your case. If your loved one is injured or needs help with an insurance dispute, Cunningham and Mears has the experience you need. So Heritage Hall drops back to receive the punt. Drop back to receive it is Caleb Niver once again. Nice punt. It is fielded in the air. There's going to be return possibility here. Niver gets it. He's up to the 50, working his way back, shaking and baking. He's down to about the 46-yard line. We'll call it the 47-yard line in Warrior territory. So Heritage Hall will be knocking on the door once again. We'll see who comes in at quarterback for the Chargers.
I think it's Bennett Burns is out there. I think I saw 18.
We'll have a bunch of, see Cole Lacey running on the field right there. So we'll hope a lot of these numbers are accurate. Yeah. But yeah, you're exactly right, Caleb. That's Bennett Burns, number 18, the sophomore, 6'2", 155-pounder. In to take over the quarterbacking duties here for the Chargers. Chargers up 52-7. Ball sitting on the 48-yard line. The give is to Traylor Miller. Traylor Miller on the carry. No gain on the play, maybe one. No gain. We'll call it 2nd and 10. Ball still sits at the 48.
2nd and 10.
No real stats for Bennett Burns coming into this game. We'll see what the young man can do right here. Joined in the backfield still by Traylor Miller. The give is to Miller up the middle. Oh! And he is wrangled down right there by number 55, Logan Smith. Might have some people taking exception to that a little bit, but they didn't.
Yeah, it was a hard tackle there from Anadarko.
That was a pick him up and take him down. Maybe a little frustration behind that tackle there for the senior Logan Smith, the nose guard here for Anadarko. But that's going to be a 3rd and 10. No gain on that play. Kobe White in for the Chargers as well, sophomore wide receiver. Little movement, little pre-snap movement there for the Charger offense. That's going to be a false start. We'll move it back another 5 yards. So this is going to be a 3rd and 15. Back to about the 43-yard line. Chargers getting some young guys into action tonight. Always valuable when you look at getting some experience down the road.
Oh yeah, not only this year, but your future years, getting this experience to play games like this.
So that is Bennett Burns. Oh, and he's hit hard right along the sidelines. Hit hard by number 62, Zayden Franklin. Forced out of bounds. Gain of 4 on the play, so this is going to be a 4th and 11. And it looks like Heritage Hall will probably just line up and go for this one once again. Ball sitting at the 49-yard line. We'll see if they'll let Bennett Burns put it in the air. Spread out wide for Heritage is number 25, Grant Sullivan, here on the near side.
Burns may punt this, actually, the way they're lined up.
And you got it. That's exactly right. This is going to be kind of a little quick kick here. Burns with the punt. And that's going to be down at the Wildcat 20. And if I'm not mistaken, that is the first punt of the game for Heritage Hall.
And the only other time they didn't score was the turnover on downs in the first drive. It's been
opening possession.
8 scoring drives in between those.
So that ends the streak of 8 straight points. 7 of those by the touchdown variety. 1 of them by the field goal variety. And so that is going to be a punt for Heritage Hall, and it comes at the 7:36 mark of the 4th quarter. That's the kind of dominant performance you like to see that Coach Bogert wanted out of this crew. So Anadarko takes over. The give is to Pendarvis. And he's tackled there on the play by Riley Walker. Wearing number 74 tonight, Riley Walker. 6'2", 238. Big presence there on that Charger defensive line, young sophomore. Expect good things out of him.
Yeah, and you go back to the first drive that Anadarko had. Pendarvis was a big key in that scoring drive. Haven't really had much of him since. You know, he's been getting carries, but Heritage Hall shut him down.
Here's Pendarvis trying to get to the outside. He's got a little running room. He's up at about the 42-yard line after a nice gain by the Warrior running back. Another one of the 22 seniors here on this roster for the Warriors. So this is going to push the ball up to actually the 41-yard line, 1st and 10, Anadarko. Clock creeping along here in the fourth quarter, 6.5 minutes left in this ball game. Give is once again to Satir. Trying to get outside. Nice game by Satir. Pickup of about 13 on the play. Tackle by Noah Horowitz. Number 45, sophomore. Bunch of young guys getting into the action. We love it. That's what happens when you get up in the 50s.
Absolutely. I mean, great opportunity to, like we said, get experience. I mean, this will be big for them. You know, late this year, you never know what's going to happen with your roster, and then obviously years further, you know, in their careers at Heritage Hall.
We always talk about you can't replicate game speed. You know, no matter how good your practices are, no matter how dialed in you are, you can never replicate game speed.
No, and, you know, I think Anadarko still have their starters out there, so this is great reps for who's in the game for Heritage Hall.
So 2nd and 2 here for the Warriors. The give is to Pendarvis, getting around the outside. He's shoved out of bounds. On the play, that was Grant Sullivan on the tackle. But that moves Anadarko down to the 14-yard line, so they are threatening to put some points on the board. It's been a while.
Yeah, this is kind of what we saw from their first drive. Their outside runs, they were able to get past the first line of defense, and you know, with the speed they have from the running backs, it's very hard to bring them down, especially with them being physical runners as well. So this is kind of similar to opening drive for the Warriors.
Give is to Pendarvis once again. That was, see who that was hanging on. That was a good tackle there by Harper Slavonic. Hanging on to those legs, waiting for his buddies to get there and clean it up. Number 15, Harper Slavonic there. Helped out by Grant Sullivan. Second and 1 here for the Warriors. Give is to Satir, and he's in. And that's an Anadarko touchdown. That's Ferris Satir with the 5-yard touchdown run for the Warriors. His first touchdown of the night. The only other one coming by Malachi Beaver, and that was a 9-yard reception from Kawakli. So Anadarko with the point after cuts the lead 52-13 right now. 4 minutes left in the ball game. Point is up. Kind of a straight-on kicker. You don't see those very often anymore.
No, you don't. You know, we talked about the series history between these two schools. This is the most points that Heritage Hall scored against Anadarko. Actually, they broke it, or they tied it at 45 before their last touchdown. But now in the 50s, highest points they scored against Anadarko in their short history playing against each other.
So stay tuned momentarily when Caleb and I will announce our Seth Wadley Auto Family Power Promise player of the game. Boy, there's some willing. There's some
There's
guys.
a lot.
There's some deserving souls out there on that field tonight. So, stay tuned right after the game, and we'll be on the field doing an interview, and we'll figure that out. You know, we got some guys to talk about. Terrence Johnson. Gerard Williams, of course. He had a great night. You had David Griffin with the interception, his first interception of the year.
Cannon Brunson passing and receiving
touchdowns. There you go. Hey, how often do you get to do that?
You don't very often.
You don't get to do that very often. So a lot of people that have contributed, and of course, Tegan Lawson has he has 2 or 3 touchdown passes tonight, and so we'll kind of tabulate that up and see what we come up with, but stick around. Seth Wadley, Auto Family Power Promise Player of the Game coming up momentarily as that ball goes into the end zone for the touchback. We'll see if it's going to be Bennett Burns once again for the Chargers here. Yes, it is going to be 18. Bennett Burns getting himself another drive. Thought we might see Harper Slavonic in there. We've seen him at quarterback as well this year. The give is up the middle. No gain on the play. Once again. Let's see if that was Traylor Miller on the carry once again. Yes, it was. Nice carries by young Traylor Miller, sophomore. For as fast as the third quarter went, this fourth quarter is really dragging.
Well, we had 3 total possessions in the third quarter.
It. Heritage Hall on that long 7 or 8 minute drive that they had.
Yeah.
Give is once again to Miller, trying to fight for anything he can find right here. He's going to pick up about a yard on that play. It's going to be about a 3rd and 9 here for the Charger offense. Ball sitting at the 21-yard line. Looks like, three touchdowns on the night for Tegan Lawson passing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Third and 9. Give once again to Traylor Miller. Oh, he breaks free this time. Finds him a running lane back towards the middle of the field. Nice piece of running right there. Excuse me, that was Echok right there.
Yeah, it was a good run now. It was 3rd and 9 and got about 13.
Sure is. Great 13-yard pickup there for Echok. So that's going to be a 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. Approaching the 2-minute mark here in the fourth quarter. Another nice run on the outside, trying to get up the field. Lowers the shoulder, lowers the boom. Got a late flag coming in.
There is a flag.
And that is Austin Echok once again carrying that. So I apologize. Austin Echok is wearing number 40 tonight. So I've corrected that. So Austin Echok wearing number 40. Hey, listen, we're going to give credit to everybody.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
We're just going to give credit to anybody who has a number on their back tonight. That's what we're going to do. So that's what happens at some point.
Sometimes you just get some numbers that are listed differently on the roster than they really are. So the gives to Echok once again, gets thrown down in the backfield. Drayden Kearns on the tackle. That brings us to a 2nd and 23 here for the Chargers. A minute and a half left to go in this ball game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's much more we can say about how dominant this victory was for Heritage Hall. You go down 7-0, and then you put up 52 straight to answer that. Just a great response and just great overall game from the Chargers.
48 points last week, 52 this week. You just feel like that offense is now starting to hit that stride, getting well oiled. Give once again, no gain on the play. Gage Brashears enters the game for the Chargers, as well as Ben McReynolds. 3rd and 23. That's called a country mile. Long way to go here for a first down. 22 seconds left in this ball game. This will be the last play of the game. 9 seconds on the play clock. Looks like they've got a formation problem. 0 on the play clock. No flag. I thought this would be a delay of game, but the give is just up the middle. And that's going to do it. The clock strikes 0 here in the 4th quarter. Heritage Hall with a dominating victory over an undefeated district opponent. The final score here at the Pop, 52-14. Stick around with us. We're going to be right back with our Seth Wadley Auto Family Power Promise Player of the Game. Caleb will be on the field. I don't know if we'll be on the field doing an interview or up in the – we will be on the field. We'll be rounding up our Seth Wadley Auto Family Power Promise Player of the Game. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Heritage Hall football right here on ChargerVision.
When you walk into this room, who you have beside you matters. Experience matters. We fight in Oklahoma and around the country, standing toe-to-toe against the most powerful adversaries in the world, and we win. Our record speaks for itself. Our verdicts and settlements speak for themselves, and we want to fight for you. Nix Patterson, Oklahoma attorneys with world-class experience.
Shop at Charger Corner for all the latest Charger gear. Did you know all profits go directly to classrooms and programs like ChargerVision? Show your Charger pride with great gear and support our students in Richmond. The store is open from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. on school days. Follow at the Hall Charger Corner on Insta to find out about products and specials and order online via link in their bio. There's never been a better time to get your Charger pride on. So just as we promised, the Seth Wadley Auto Family Power Promise Player of the Game, none other than Gerard Williams tonight. We appreciate Gerard and his effort. In addition to some big plays downfield, Gerard also had a 62-yard touchdown reception from Cannon Bronson on the tight end pass, and then also a 29-yard touchdown reception from Tegan Lawson. And then add that to a interception in the first half on the defensive side of the ball. So just a great evening for Gerard Williams, the Tulsa commit. Not much you can say, not much more you can say about that young man, except that
if you could hit the ball in his hands, good things are always bound to happen, and we saw those happen tonight. So Caleb Couches is down on the field, and he will catch up with Gerard Williams once Coach Bogert is done with the post-game meeting and also the ringing of the Eddie Bell, which is a tradition here at Heritage Hall and at Pop Murray. Every time Heritage claims another victory here at home, it's the ringing of the Eddie Bell, and that has happened quite often here at Pop Murray. Catching up around the campus a little bit more, we didn't have time to get to everything, but the Charger Fast Pitch finished the regular season with a perfect record, 22-0, and is now 24-0 with the regional championship in its belt. In a regional game won yesterday, Addie Thompson struck out 15 in a complete game, 2-1 win, while Blakely Standish hit a 2 RBI single in the 5th inning. Today, the Chargers squared off with Commerce in the title game. Kiki Jobs struck out 14 batters in the 7-0 win, while Addie Thompson went 4 for 4 with 2 doubles. And Emerson Callahan followed suit with a pair of doubles as well. The regional champs advanced to Super Regionals, with more info about the series to be released by Monday. Expect the undefeated Chargers to host on Thursday and an, if necessary, Friday game. What a season. It looks like, I believe, we will have a ChargerVision broadcast next Thursday for Super Regionals, but stay tuned to Heritage Hall Charger TV and for an updated schedule on when that will be and if that will be a Super Regional game at Chargers softball field. But congratulations to the Chargers. What an incredible season so far. I've been so blessed to be able to call Heritage Hall softball this year and to witness this 24-0 run firsthand. Coach Seymour is doing a great job as they align themselves for a great state championship run. 2 extraordinary pitchers on that team so far this year really carrying the load for Heritage Hall softball. That's Addie Thompson, Kiki Jobs, Addie Thompson, the Michigan commit as well. Kiki Jobs, Missouri, Kansas City commit. So 2 great players in addition to all of the young ladies on Charger Fast Pitch. So expect to see them make a state tournament run as well, in addition to the state champions that we have already crowned for our cheer team. And then Charger Pride. Charger Cross Country is in the midst of a restful break after a flurry of events. After both squads won the Meeker Meet, they stayed in sync to finish 5th at North Rock Creek and 3rd at Jones. Last weekend, the girls placed 3rd and the boys finished 7th at the Cameron University Invitational. They'll return to a familiar course on October 9th. Hosting the Heritage Hall Invitational Meet, the hall is also a host site for regionals on October the 18th. If you've never been to a cross-country meet, those are a couple of great opportunities to follow our runners as they continue their run at a state title. We're awaiting Gerard Williams on the field with Caleb Kalsich as our Seth Wadley Auto Family Power Promise player of the game. Great night once again for Gerard Williams. We've said it time and time and time again. He's just a young man, put the ball in his hands, and great things are bound to happen. Heritage Hall next week faces the Kingfisher Yellow Jackets, and that's at Kingfisher. That is going to be the Kingfisher Yellow Jackets, and then also coming back home playing the number 8 Plainview Indians after that. So Heritage Hall, two stretches of games. Kingfisher's always a tough battle for the Chargers. It's a nice rivalry that has come into play in the recent years. We're waiting on taking a look down there to see if I see Caleb Kalsich anywhere, as we await Gerard Williams. In the meantime, Charger Esports had another great week. The first ever Apex Legends squad at Heritage Hall. Kylie Brenier, Matthew Kalsich, and Jack Holbrook picked up their first win of the season, taking out Hawaii Technology Academy 2-0 with back-to-back scores, 40-11 scores. Over the weekend, both Fortnite box fight teams, John Hayes and Terrence Johnson, and Sawyer Hill Preston Banks swept their way to 3-0 starts in the OKSE fall season. And then also on Monday, Super Smash Brothers Jax Argo and Zach Davis attended an in-person tournament at Moore Norman Technology Center.
where Jax placed 7th and Zach 25th out of 70-plus competitors. Rocket League faced their long-term rival Edmond Memorial in an iron sharpens iron battle and came up short in a 3-1 loss. Taking a game from the Bulldogs is something not many teams will do this season, and the Chargers are already looking forward to a rematch deep into the playoffs. Follow at the Hall Instagram to keep up with Charger Esports. So that is what's going on campus. A lot of wonderful things happen as we step up regional action in many sports, and then also state title runs coming up in the next week here on campus at Heritage Hall, with many of our teams hosting regionals and hosting super regionals. Trying to get a look down on the field. Trying to find Caleb Kalsich, see if he's located Gerard Williams yet.
Come back towards the press box just a little bit. Just like towards the sideline.
Charger pride for Heritage Hall's 3 National Merit semifinalists, Stavros Crescent, Audrey Flynn, and Finn Martin. These academically talented seniors scored among the top 16,000 out of 1.3 million juniors who took the PSAT last year. About 95% of the semifinalists are expected to attain finalists standing after an application process, and about half of those will win a National Merit Scholarship, earning the prestigious Merit Scholar title next spring. Congrats, Stavros, Audrey, and Finn.
Yep, just how they're standing. And then they just need to put the mics. Do they have the mics on?
So it looks like Caleb Kalsich has located
And then you'll need to hold the camera.
Gerard Williams as they're standing out here down about the 35-yard line. And we are ready to go. So we'll send it down to the field for Caleb Kalsich and Gerard Williams, our Seth Wadley Auto Family Power Promise player of the game. There you go, guys.
All right, here with Gerard. First of all, congrats on the win. You know, you guys went down 7-0 early. You answered 52 unanswered. What adjustments you guys make that kind of give you confidence throughout the game and, you know, obviously allow that 52 unanswered point to happen?
Yeah, so we just had to stop the run basically every week. You know, stopping the run game has been a struggle for us, but this week, you know, we locked in. You know, practices, we've been stopping the run in practice, so preparation is key. So we prepared in practice and, you know, and executed in the game. So, you know, the secondary was like locked down in the back end. So, you know, all we had to do was just stop the run.
Yeah, no, offensively, though, you guys put up 52 unanswered. You had 2 touchdowns yourself. You guys were behind the defense a lot, especially, you know, you beat them off coverage. What were they giving you that allowed you guys to have so much success in the vertical passing game?
Man, there was a lot of press, and then we watch film every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and every time we see either the corners are playing off, so we run something short. Corners are pressing. You know, when I scored over here, we just ran Daytona. You know, and we checked. It was supposed to be a screen, but Chuck checked to a Daytona. So, you know, just great coaching like that just like helped us get behind the defense.
Yeah, defensively, you also had a pick, almost a pick 6.
Yeah.
But since that first drive, you guys allowed basically nothing.
Mm-hmm.
What did you change? What coverages did you guys put that kind of confused them, allowed you guys to get the 4 turnovers you forced?
Mm-hmm. We just realized that they were trying to, you know, get the out routes, you know, in film. Like I said, we saw that they were running a lot of outs, so we started bracketing receivers, and like they couldn't do anything. So then they ran the Daytona, and then I watched film, so I know the quarterback's going to throw the out regardless. So I just broke on the out, you know, got the pick, scored. So, and it was kind of BS call. It was like, you know, that wasn't holding. That was great block by Griff. He had a great night too, great pick. But yeah.
All right, well, thank you for your time. Good luck to you guys the rest of the way.
Yes, sir.
Justin, back to you.
Congratulations once again to Gerard Williams, our Seth Wadley Auto Family Promise player of the game. 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, a bunch of receptions deep into scoring territory that set up Chargers for additional touchdowns. It's been a great evening, been a great homecoming night here at the Pop. Once again, Heritage Hall wins it by the score of 52-14. Join us next week as we travel to Kingfisher for the Kingfisher Yellow Jackets in district game number 3 on the year. But right now, this one's a wrap. Heritage Hall moves to 4-1 overall, 2-0 in district play. It's Heritage Hall 52, Anadarko 14. You have been watching a broadcast of ChargerVision. You've been watching Heritage Hall football right here on the ChargerVision Network. We'll see you next week at Kingfisher.